and we going out some, you some, all the big people, you some, I some, you some, all the roadside hustlers, you some, Tiffy, Uncle Rico, the big C divide us, Tiffy, Uncle Rico, the big C. It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Here, there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's not fair. And we going out some, you some, all the big people, you some, I some, you some, all the roadside hustlers, you some, Tiffy, Uncle Rico,
The big C divide us.
Tiffy, Uncle Rico,
The big C.
it's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's not fair. And we going out some, you some, all the big people, you some, I some, you some, all the roadside hustlers, you some, Tiffy, Uncle Rico,
The big C divide us.
Tiffy, Uncle Rico,
The big C.
it's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's not fair.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta whip us more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will knock the ball. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you screw us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta whip us more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will knock the ball. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that's why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. Betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us.
The president promised so many things, nothing. At the end, the president said that we will not be spectators within our own economy. And we're not hearing on the field why people in that kind of mood, why people just in charge of the discussion. The next day you were seeing singing, the next day you were seeing studio, the next day you were seeing dancing buka, the next day you were seeing doing something what president not supposed to do. When you president, you bear the pain for the citizen. The citizen should be happy before you be happy. But president, we are just in here. Why are going to listen to president? We are for the only thing are going there for president. We have a teacher. We just see my teacher. Goodbye, Mr. President. Grade the president 10%. Look at JFK. Somebody not get money. $700 government hospital charge the person go jump, running away, the person die. So I'm a praising. My final was that we want a peaceful election. All the far officials or anybody that was sanctioned by the U.S. government, we are taking protest maybe February 4th to the U.S. embassy to let the U.S. government know that no sanctioned official must partake in our election. The same vote that carry him there, the same vote should take him from there.
You know, it's slow because the economic system we have in the country. People priority is food, and how to get the money is not how. So how many people want to put money in their food? So you have to work in mass before even getting to what we want to do. And 400 just for sustainability. Yeah, as profit. Many of us who is doing this business, we going to school, we are asked to graduate and do. So we are put in a deployable conditions. For the past 5 years, we are achieving what? My editorial power, the property rate was at a percentage of 50%. Now, they keep on the platform of what? Hope for change. But then they have added 2%, is 52%. That is the deployable rate. They told about 1,000 librarians should be employed. All of these things were casual. That's why in Nigeria, it's just of rims and crumbs that the president want to say to us. Because Jowia is already voted out. I can tell you, and we are angry with the regime of Jowia. We see that it's a mistake.
Not let that, but send the president come. I tell you, thank you. My life there boy ha. My editor, I vote for my editor. I enjoy. Say I vote for president. I vote for Jowia. Nothing. For me, I will not vote for Jowia.
And I will consider that speech as the last speech that will be coming from Oboya. It's glaring. The fires are raging on the street, on the houses, even the trees. What they want is a kangaroo arrangement to just control the Liberian people on lies, deception. For the past 3 years now, the travel and I'm very easy. Yeah, when you get on travel, they even need correct 1,500, not easy. Some of our in school travel. The president promised so many.
It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's not fair. And we going out some. You're some. All the big people. You're some. Out some.
They are know where I'm coming from. Look at it here.
It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's not fair. And we going out some. You're some. All the big people. You're some. Out some.
Look at it here. They are know where I'm coming from. Look at it here.
You can't, you begging me to wear it here, eh? You looking for poor now. Amen. All the people that coming outside today, eh? They get the other people to come and then they join them again. Eh? For people who not let it, I bring lay down to my door. I'll clean my foot and fat enter. Wear it here. Wear it here. Huh? They don't know where I'm coming from. Look at it here. You can't, you begging me to wear it here, eh? You looking for poor now. Amen. All the people that coming outside today, eh? They get the other people to come and then they join them again. Eh? For people who not let it, I bring lay down to my door. I'll clean my foot and fat enter.
It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's not fair.
Let me say, good afternoon. Can everybody just mute a second? Good afternoon and welcome to the program, The Class Reloaded. Today is the third day of February in the year 2023. We're back again with a very interesting edition of the program. We have joining us for the first time, Mr. Darlington S. Collins. Darlington is the former student leader in Liberia. There he resides currently in the U.S. This is his first time on the class. I'd like to say welcome, Darlington.
Well, thank you, Stephen. It's an honor and privilege to be shared platform with good brothers and big brothers, and I see my own cousin Jerry is here. It's an honor to be here.
It's good to see you, Darlington. Welcome. We have Jerry Nyima Yimpa. Jerry is joining us. We have, of course, Mohamed Ali, Pastor Mo, Chupo, all the way there in Banga, Bon County, and then, of course, our own Jerry Limden Matthew Pia is joining us. Also, today is Friday. Is the weekend edition of the program, The Class Reloaded. We come your way Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday at 8 p.m. Liberian time, and of course 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is if you live on the East Coast of the United States of America. We, as we always say, share the show. We expect that you always share the show. We expect to have our usual 1,000 shares. So we're looking out. Pia will be checking on that. So I see Irene, Paul, yeah, my brother. I see small people. I see Sam, Bradley, all of you guys. I'm expecting that each of you will share it, at least 10, 15 times. Patla, all of you to share the show. Today is, as I said, Friday. We come your way on the following radio station. That's Bourgeois Radio FM 98.1, Premium FM 98.1 in Banga, Bon County. That's Premium FM 98.1 in Banga, Bon County. Radio Dupa FM 89.1 in Grand Bassa County. Voice of Lofa FM 99.3 in Vojama, Lofa County. Radio Joy Africa FM 97.5 in Magibi, and of course our very own Voice of Gompa FM 106 in Gompa City, Nimba County. On today's edition, of course, we'll begin the conversation with what's trending. After that, we'll dig deep into the allegations by Senator Prince Johnson that the government wants to arrest and assassinate him. And so he's been talking. He was on the VOA today. He's been on the BBC. He's been on other local network talking about this plan. We want to see what's in it. How does this affect the opposition community? We'll also look at across national issue, the debt. Liberia debt stands at $2.018 billion. The CDC government in the last 5 years have credited $1 billion plus. We want to know what's been done with that $1 billion. 5 years, 1 billion, and nothing to show. Something that we should look at. And then there's this plane rally for tomorrow. At the time when many Liberians cannot even afford their daily bread, the CDC is seen distributing money and T-shirts that many persons don't even want to hold. But then because of the money associated, we've seen it. You saw videos of people who collected those monies and T-shirts. And it's funny how today the CDC is all over begging for crowd, going as far as Boko Jide, somebody said, looking for somebody to come to Monrovia just to fill ATS. When I played soccer ATS, it was always filled. Imagine me playing at that level, could fill ATS. But today, Josh Weah, all his popularity, can barely fill 8 years. It tells you how the CDC is obeying the law of diminishing return. Our popularity is now increasing at a decreasing rate. We expect that in the coming weeks and months, that will begin to manifest itself in ways that we all can see. Let me say welcome to all of our students in class. If you're joining us, just say present so that we can recognize you. I see Wade Thompson, Hawaii Human, Irene Lucio Tobo Crote. Let me see who all. If you're in class, just say present so that I can recognize you before we jump. Charles Seville, Geraldine Tupe, Moses Wilson, watching all the way from Kuda Bypass in Jerry Ferguson, in Gaman Demstop, Emmanuel Weah. I see James Sa Rogers. I see Washington Triple, Kuning Hawa, Quiz Square, Lapu Ziga. How are you, Lapu? Getru, Jackson Joe, I'm sorry. Russell, Charles Russell, Willie Cogway, Alvin Jones, my dear brother, John Green, Godwin Dole, James Obele, Croft Jackson, A.B. Bartley, Gertrude Mann, I see James Harris, Geraldine, Josephine, the Prince Kamara Hassan, Prince Declay Botokuya, Steve Watson, Abraham Connecty, Basikola, Sissy Nathan, Sissy, how are you, man? Dennis Ben, Kula Kamara, Alvin Perry, Gabriel Davis, Amos Holt, Arthur Wanen, Shedrack Wilson, Joshua Russell, Kwekwe Doubleson, PK Topa, Alicia Gato, Felicius David, James Kamala, I see Geraldine again, Tuba Samuel, Joseph Kaba Samuel, Salakbasa, Amadou Shannon Melassier, Praise, S. Waka Sile, Hinksing Tama, Tony Kuhn, Benson, Matthew, Mohammed, Robert, Jacob, Lawrence, Chokon, Ibrahim, Jeremiah Chie, how are you, my brother? Basi, Kola, Shedrack, again, UJ, Victor Morgan, Abu Bakar Jallo, Afra Cowboy, Bien Kessely, Desiree Do, Sufficient Momo, I see AB, Daniel, Himian, Mata Doki, Henry Alpha, Vivian Eastman, James Harris, Edith Campbell, Isaac Flomo, Nambia Masekwa, Samuel Sam, Kolu, James Joshua, everybody, everybody. Morris, Albert, Bala, Martina Dolphin, Morris Star, Samuel Salabasa, George Kruma, Eugene Solomon Pierre, Dennis Keke, Marcus, Momodu, Sam Zor, everybody, Phoebe Warity, all of our good people, everybody. Sam Zor, Blessing, Kokoso John, Daniel, Osanto, Valley, Lawrence, and everybody. We'd like to say a big welcome to all of you for joining us. As usual, we say that just share the show, invite others to invite others to invite others. This is a big tent, and we expect to have all of you on board. We have a full house today, so we'll begin. I'm sure everybody got the ground rules. I sent it to everybody. So I'll do less talking today, and I hope we're familiar. So to begin, welcome, Larman. Let me start the conversation as usual. We begin with first trending. We'll go across the room. Everybody will speak on trending national issues, and then we'll begin the conversation. So we'll go in the order. We'll start with Ali, Reverend Moore, Jupor will go, Darlington, Jerry, Larman, and then Pia will wrap us all on trending issues. We have a full house, and we're cognizant of time, so maximum 3 minutes each. I'll be very clear on the time for us to do trending issues. So go, Ali.
Steven, thank you. Good evening to our listener. Again, we will talk about this issue. Several students on government scholarship have reached out to me and a few other colleagues. What they've done, this guy called Porter, I think one Emmanuel Porter, is an assistant minister for logistics at the Ministry of State. They've reached out to the Ministry of Education to inform them that they should mandate every student on government scholarship to attend their WIA endorsement program. Not only that they are forcing the students to go, but they are forcing t-shirts on them, coercing them to wear the t-shirts and the beret to go to the program. They also called some student leaders of those on scholarship today at the foreign ministry and at the mansion. Today, the foreign ministry was like a second headquarters for CDC. They were dividing t-shirts on those students. This is the level to which they are bringing low even the ministries and the agencies. Look, you have your popularity, that's okay for you. But the students that are on scholarship, and now your pa money paying their school fee, that everybody money, the taxes that we pay, that's what the government is using to put students on scholarship. And there's one thing people don't understand. You know, I heard one guy telling someone the other day, oh, when they say taxpayer, it means you pay tax, some of you are not even paying tax. Now, there are two ways, from my knowledge, that people can pay tax. You can either pay tax directly or you pay tax indirectly. So, for example, you go to a restaurant or you go to a store or you go to buy goods. When you buy goods, they get taxes attached to them, right, Stephen? Those for you who they economics. I see sometimes when they give me receipt from the supermarket, I see GST.
Yeah.
I see GST. You pay these taxes. When you even buy from the food man pay tax. You are paying that tax. Food man ain't taking money or the Lebanese man or the Indian man to pay. So the money that we pay is what you're using to sponsor Liberians on scholarship. It should not be that President, we have personal money he's taking from his pocket to sponsor these students, so that you're making them to understand. They're telling the student that, oh, if you don't support George Weah and another person wins the presidency, you will not get scholarship again. They will take you from scholarship. That's a blatant lie. The scholarship program is a human capacity building program instituted by government at the Ministry of Education. And even for the president, it's not a personal money. It's a program set up at the executive mansion, coming from money coming from taxpayers to sponsor students. So nobody should intimidate any student, forcing berets on them, forcing t-shirts on them to wear. Even at the market, they did it today in the market. Someone from the market sent me a message. They went there, and those under the market building, in the market structures, not those who build their tables outside, those in the structure, they intimidated them and threatened that if they don't go to the program tomorrow, they will remove them from the tables they are occupying within the market structure. And so they gave people t-shirts, gave them beret to wear. This is absolutely wrong, and nobody should be intimidated. Nobody going to remove you from your market table, and nobody will remove you from the scholarship. And don't fall for it that, oh, you know, when you go, when Josh Weah win, if you ain't supporting, when other people can, they will not give you a scholarship. They're not even giving you a good scholarship. Thank you.
Thank you. Pastor Mo.
Yeah, thank you. I want to say good evening to our many viewers on Facebook and to our many listeners there in Radio Land. I want to thank God for today. Well, my training issue have to do with, there's a lot, but have to do with the Waterspoon case. And as I went online today, trying to get an update from the case today in Florida, I read from the Africa Star. There was an online newspaper called Africa Star. And it talked about Waterspoon was arrested on the 25th of January. But that is not what caught my attention. What caught my attention is the bond fee that was filed in when he was arrested and appeared before the judge by way of video link. He waived them reading of the indictment to him. He also paid an unsecured bond fee of $250,000. Not only that, he was also given instruction. He was given a GPS anchor.
Pastor, they're complaining that your voice is low.
Oh, people want me to scream. Like,
Maybe just bring the phone closer.
Okay, thank you. Am I okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry to you all. He was also given a GPS anchor monitor. That is to monitor his movement. His passport were confiscated from him. He cannot travel out of the U.S. And the GPS anchor that has been given to him by the code is going to be monitored, and he is to report to the U.S. Marshal on a regular basis. He is restrained from drinking alcohol, from smoking, and from doing certain things under the law. So that has caught my attention as we all wait for the founding for the case on today. So you as Liberians do not get involved in any unscrupulous things and think we're going to pray for you to get free. No, this is America. This is not Liberia. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right in time, Pastor Mo Smart. Jupo.
Yes, thank you for having me on the show this evening. I'm deeply honored. So many trending issues from Banga, from County. Number one issue from here, we're barely 8 months to the conduct of the general election in the country. Several citizens in Bong have expressed fear of election rigging because, according to them, that President George Manu, we are instructed magistrates across the country to actually turn down the resignation and all the supervisors, that's districts and county supervisors, to turn down their resignation. And according to them, this is a move by the ruling government to replace them with people who, they feel that they are quote unquote, seditions, so that the government can pull them by the nose and rule in favor of them, so that they cannot actually get, so that they cannot actually get, any hindrance in what they are planning to do. So majority of the citizens are actually calling on the international community and all the, high political figures in the country to actually be sensitive of issues, or as election draws closer in this part of the country. And another trending issue from my end, I made plan from the ruling CDC to actually carry out, an endorsement program for the re-election date of President George Manuel Weah in Bond County. Several aggrieved NASDAQ and NPP partisans are threatening to boycott the process because, according to them, they have not been treated fairly by the Congress for Democracy Change. Because, according to them, they actually in the process, that is the election process of President George Manuel Weah in 2017. But just to their surprise, following his ascendancy as president of the country, he's yet to make good some of his promises. He's yet to make fruition to some of his promises made to them. So some of them are actually threatening to boycott the process on tomorrow. And they said, they are going to do it to show that they themselves have voice in this whole election. And so that's the trending issue from my end.
Thank you. Right on time, 3 minutes each. Darlington, what's trending from your end?
Well, as you may be aware, the CDC have announced to us that tomorrow will be quote unquote a 1 million men rally, or where they intend to mobilize their partisans. But Stephen, there's something very interesting that caught my attention. When you look at the history of the CDC, from 2005 up to now where we are, the CDC, they normally will not be, running after people to be handing out. You don't see the CDC printing T-shirt, with those kinds of party signals, printing bearer and then the party using their own money. The vast majority of the Liberian people at the time gravitated to the party using their own mega resources. You used to see the people would print their shirt and come out by themselves. For just to go back to Muali, but to see people, being, intimidated that you must come out to the rally, it's very troubling. You want to have this 1 million rally. and you called it a 1 million citizen rally, but you are going to the ATS that can take up to 10 to 15,000 individuals just on the page, inclusive of the page and the seating capacity is about 15,000 persons. So how are you going to have a 1 million rally for the re-election bill of President Weah to a place that can barely even take up to 20,000 persons? It's very concerning. I mean, one would say, but how does that concern me? Well, you are going there to petition Mr. President to quote unquote contest. It sounds very funny, that they are organizing these little programs to give the CDC the political momentum to propel that agenda in 2023. The CDC, I don't remember at what point in time that Mr. Weah will ever petition in our history where his partisans will come out and say, we want you to contest the presidency, and they go to ATS. I mean, now they have the control state apparatus. I would expect that if the CDC want to host 1 million man rally, they will be telling us that they're using the Samuel Kanyando, sports complex. I think it's very good, because I know for a fact that if members from the opposition community attempt to reach out to them to probably use, public facilities, they will not give it to them. Now they control it. So let them go to the SKD. Town is very tight in Broad Street, and coming there, you want to have traffic congestion to create an impression that the CDC still have momentum. So you go to a tight, space like the ATS. Well, we expect to see those photos from my friend Kalasco. They will mount these drones up and take pictures and put up a show that they still have control over the people of Liberia. Unfortunately, I mean, that is not the case. I would expect that the CDC would, since they control the state, they will go to the ATS and mobilize their people.
Thank you, Darlito. Jerry, are you there? You're muted.
Are you getting me?
Of course, yes.
Oh yeah, okay. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Been a while. I've been down with some of the fever. I'm from Pelican, and the cool business is a typical thing. But thanks to all of you, Reverend Mo, you and the rest of the full Minister Pia, but what caught my attention, I don't know how many person following. I listened to Vice President Joy Howard Taylor re-emphasizing what was inserted in the education law. I mean, not education law, the election law concerning magistrates. She was in the OKFN news this morning that all of the magistrates are compromised. Maybe she forgot that the same magistrate may go to be vice president. And then what caught my attention most is we are in the electionary period. And then the vice president, who was even praised by the president during his fiasco sona at the legislature, is making another call for changes in the electoral structure in terms of election commission. All of the analysis, the propaganda, and everything we are doing, if we are not careful, this is where these people are playing their game. Because for the vice president to come out and say all of the magistrates across the country are compromised, those in authority in terms of the opposition community in political parties should take key interest, because this is the second person in terms of our governance structure that is speaking. She's not just talking. Maybe President Weah doesn't know how to speak. Everybody know, even though he doesn't give, he said, don't mind my quality speech, but local quality decision. But there's no quality decision and there's no quality speech, so I don't know where we are headed. But it is very important. All of our bullets, that's why when people are talking about our tired suffering, we said, no, everybody will know we're tired suffering, but our focus should now be all of the structures that are in place in terms of elections. Our international partners will help in terms of monitoring elections. But we need to take it into. But let me tell Senator Joel Howard Taylor, or Vice
30
President Joel,
seconds. 30 seconds.
this is not the Charles Taylor era. This is a democratic republic. We need to understand that any attempt to institute measures that will undermine our democratic, process, it will not be an ordinary thing. So we need to understand that elections are not joking processes. You can't come out and threaten or undermine the independence of our election commission, even though they have taken some steps. But she's making or reaffirming what was inserted in the election laws. So I mean, I know I'm cognizant of my 30 seconds.
Yeah, you got 5 seconds.
Yes. So it's an issue of interest. This election matter. All of our analysis today, if we do not pay attention to elections, we'll just be analyzing here. This is a vice president who was praised at the SONA, who is being schemed against, and she doesn't know. She's making another call to change election magistrates. If this is not an interest to all elections, political parties, then I do not know where we are headed. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Jerry. Larimer?
Thank you. Stephen, if you look at the historical topology of the CDC, if one chooses to trace back to history, the foundation of the movement was created out of the grassroots sensation. 12 years later and 6 years into the Weah administration, the test to his leadership has been revealed in over the last 6 years. Weah has failed miserably, and they have lost the grassroots taste. It is unprecedented to see that the government of Liberia is planning a program to endorse itself and not the people from the slum, from West Point and Busa Quarter and other places. You see 3 groups of people down there tomorrow. The downtrodden who believe that the government has taken away all of their opportunities, that have stolen from them, who think that it is the government, is their taxpayer money and need to eat some back. And those of our citizens that work within ministries and agencies that have been forced to wear the barrack to attend this program, out of fear that if they resent, they might be targeted within those line ministries and agencies. Those are the accounts that we are receiving all across Liberia. The people are angry, and the people will express their anger at the ballot box in October 2012. But the second point I would like to make is that there is a growing trend of CDC setting the stage for violence in this election, and we have to pay attention to that. The first is the rhetoric that comes from officials of the party. The second is the unresolved gun issue. Since the discovery of those caliber of weapons that they display, we don't know they did not turn it over to the United Nations. They still have it in their possession. We understand that the guy at the Small Arms Commission is a puppet for Kochi, Maxwell Grispet. And so he does exactly what Kochi wants. And Kochi is the demon god within the movement at the moment. He leads the death squad. We heard of the recent death of this young man, Yanambo, who was planning to organize a petition ceremony for all of the Yana boys across Liberia for JMB. He was mysteriously killed. So we have to pay attention to that. Now, just yesterday, Prince Johnson, who has been on the loose.
We're coming to that, Larimer. Is our...
Okay, we'll come to that, right? And then the NEC too. We have to pay attention to the National Elections Commission. I think in my mind, it is intentional that every time that the NEC come out with election guideline and schedule, when the time gets closer, they automatically reschedule it and call press conference to that effect. We are going to a major election. We need time to campaign. We need time to test the validity of the voter, the biometric voter registration, which have not even started. So these are issues that set the ground. It's a recipe for violence if we are not careful. So it's something that we have to be thinking about.
Thank you. Pierre, are you there? Pierre?
Yes, Stephen, how you doing? Quickly, I was just looking at a video. I don't know how I didn't see that video ever since, but I just saw a video when Stanton went to Liberia. And in that video, except somebody corrects me, I saw him having police officers guarding him.
Yeah, you have police that sound state police.
Why was that so? Who's he?
But Pierre,
I mean,
are you aware that George Weah went to visit the man to the hotel?
I mean, let me just make my point so I can eat your time. But like me, if I left from America now and go to Liberia, I'm an ordinary Liberian. If Darlington Collins went to Liberia, he's an ordinary Liberian. So why you send police officer to be passing around with the player? I was just looking at the video, and the man is going around with police officers. And I was asking myself, what was this guy up to? So those who believe that this guy had already bought all the public officials in the country and that they were in his pocket were just right. Because somebody got to explain to me why he was having police guarding him. Secondly, I come from Grand Bassa, and one of the things the president said in his State of the Union address was about serious work going on the bridge leading to the Grand Bassa Community College. And I was just watching a video of Ablije TV, and they went to the bridge. What was disappointing to me was that though we all seen the picture, but if the journalist from Ablije was trying to say, okay, so we can confirm for the president's statement that work is ongoing. And what was his definition of work ongoing? That was started more than 1 year ago. Crush racks are assembled somewhere in the vicinity. Crush racks. Zinc. When people doing construction, they put zinc around the construction site. All those things have turned rusty. The actual bridge, which is plank, the rafting planks are still on the road after 1 year of launching the project. So nothing has practically been done about that. And somebody say, Ali, if you say work is ongoing, if you're changing that road to cement, let's see that 25%, 50% also of the cement work has been done. Zero, except for crush rack being assembled there and put in place in fence. That's all. So he lied about that in his State of the Union address, and whatever the motive of that journalist was, he has a different definition as to why work has begun already means. And finally, I see every day we can't cry about election raking. I see too much sign of weakness among we who call ourselves opposition. We cry every day. If you have concerns about election will be rigged, tell your political leaders to do what they're supposed to be doing. Coming on here to cry every day about election rigging does not change anything. But I said something, I want to repeat that thing I said, and I will close. The elections in Liberia will not be rigged. Never will it be rigged. Never. But if the elections were rigged, God forbid, the commissioners at NEC and all those involved in conducting that election will have no place to hide. They will face the real consequence. Two, the government that will be a product of that rigged election will not govern Liberia. Maybe they will govern somewhere in Pluto. If you are a product of a rigged elections, like history has it, you will be chased out. I said it the last time some people were crying. I will repeat it, and I will say it all the time. That's what I will say. I will not come cry about people rigged elections. I will continue to remind them that if they rig elections, they will face the consequence, will chase them out, and people do have the capacity to chase them out. Let them keep playing around with themselves. If they want to keep the country peaceful, it will be peaceful. If the man who calls himself a former peace man wants to plunge the country into chaos, he will be facilitated. If Gray and others did say to Ellen yesterday that if anyone had better Liberia, will give it to her, if we are once bitter and sour Liberia, we too will give it to him. Let them play with the elections. Thank you.
Thank you, Pierre. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, there are great trending issues across the table. And I mean, this will now lead us into our conversation. There have been patterns, and one of which you guys talk about the issue of elections and the trend and the warning from PI about any attempt for NEC to rig this election. But we've seen here a pattern of violence, and this is one of the ways where the CDC thinks they can intimidate people. So they use violent means. We saw that in the elections with Tilia Ure. We saw that in the elections with Cornelia Crua in District 18. We've seen opposition figure being targeted. For example, Mo Ali went to jail for a Facebook post. We also saw Manny Pacquiao going to prison also for a Facebook post. Then, of recent, we saw later on a wave of death. We saw auditors being killed in the space of 8 days. A lot of auditors were killed. We saw an EPS officer being murdered. We saw series of deaths across the country about secret killings of people who were connected. And then a few days ago, we witnessed the police and what is described as they arrested a catch of arms and ammunition that they believe could wage serious trouble or cause serious mayhem on the country. But up to now, we've not heard any major investigation into that, and Darlington spoke about it. And then recently, we've seen that Prince Johnson, who is an ally to this government, at least up to the point where the agreement expired, is now going ballistic. Prince Johnson has been on several radio stations in the last few weeks, lambasting the government, not only about the poor performance of the government and its inability to attract foreign investment in the country, no jobs, and that the government has failed the Liberian people, something which Prince Johnson has repeatedly said. Prince Johnson now has a different cry. He's crying now of being the center of a possible assassination attempt by the government. He's also saying that the government wants to arrest him, having arrested. And what it says is that because we've seen the trend here where he's been opposing the government of late, and now he's been vocal and they want to arrest him, want to assassinate him. This is a pattern that could affect the larger opposition community, because as we go to election and the government gets more timid about how they are losing ground, about how they are about to leave power, we expect to see these kinds of threat. Now, Darlington or somebody else on the platform, it was Larimer, spoke about how Yana Ball 1, which is Prince Cully, was mysteriously killed. You know, he was allegedly hit by a car that we cannot identify the car up to this point. The body, according to eyewitnesses, did not have marks and bruises or injuries consistent with a vehicle, with an accident. So our antenna as opposition will begin to climb up. What can we? And then later, breaking news is that we learned today that the Secretary General of the Unity Party, Amos Tuer, was attacked at the local radio station OKFM when he left the studio. We're beginning to see pattern of attacks against opposition here. What are we doing? And let me just say this before I ask the question. Yeke Koluba has stated clearly that he will establish a brigade. Is it time now that all of us join this brigade, begin to wear our own black berets, and so that this election will not just be about allowing the CDC to just have their way, but there will be resistance, there will be fire for fire? Is this the point where we can all now say, this is what we need to do? I'll begin this conversation with Darlington. I'll go to Pastor Mo. I'll go to Larimer, Jerry, Ali, Jupo, and then Pia will wrap this place up. So let's go. 2 minutes each.
You see, Stephen, the consistent intimidation of political country must stop. Every time the president addresses the nation or members of the CDC speak, they talk about how they are not going after their political critic. They don't have political prisoner. They always make these, they run with that kind of news and telling the people that we don't have political prisoner. But what you have in the country is unexplained, politically motivated, unresolved deaths and killings. I mean, Senator Prince Johnson, say whatever you want to say about him. I'm not fond of Senator Johnson, but it is very troubling that a certain senator is crying for threats of his life. Imagine what an ordinary Secretary General of the Opposition Unity Party may likely be going through. That a senator of that level of political relevance will be crying of threat on his life because you want to now go into this quote-unquote political marriage, that everything, it don't seem, necessary, that he said he's not going to sign this contract with you, and he's exposing issues in your government, and all you want to do is to go under the cover of darkness to send people to go after his life. It's very troubling. So you come out here, you tell people you don't have political prisoners, but you are going under the cover of darkness. You are sending your mercenaries, people who you pay to visit these political people at night. You have some of those boys who that they managed to keep at the headquarters of the CDC to go around and intimidate people in the town. When you come from one, a local radio and you try to get into your car, and then threats all year and there's somebody want to, come in physical confrontation with you. It's very troubling. What kind of country are we running? Don't we? It's not necessary to see government work for us, that regardless of your political persuasion, whether you come from the opposition, that people can speak their mind freely in a democratic space. We're not running, a social club here. There's a government. That people must understand that regardless of who occupies what position, they are entitled to criticize the government of the day. So to go after Senator Prince Johnson and Prince Johnson for once, he's not one who will be making these kinds of, he will just be crying fire in the public to say people, no, he's been around, he knows the terrain, he's been, former military man, and he's been rebel leader. He comes with that security understanding. A man like Prince Johnson will be telling you about threats in his life. It's very troubling. So we hope our international friends are paying keen attention to these things, that the WEA administration will go to report to the State of the Nation and tell us that they don't have political prisoners, but you go after intimidating political opponents, auditors, mysterious killings here and there. It's very unfortunate, Stephen.
Pastor Mo, thank you, Dalindo.
Yeah, thank you. There's a serious issues in Liberia, election violence, and being an old law enforcement officer, served in my country for many, many years. Election violence does not start on the day of election, or election violence does not start the day that the result is announced. Election violence begins before the campaign. That is, people start to threaten people that is against the ruling establishment. We didn't see that when the Unity Party was in power, but we saw that from the CDC. They were going around burning cars, burning houses, threatening people because they were losing people. A couple of days ago, the police director issued a warning. And this is what I want our people to understand. And this is what I said to the police director after he went on live with this video. He went on live with a video stating that, Steve, I just sent it to you. He went on live and I just sent it to Pia, threatening people who want to come out with violence during the elections. And my question to the police director is, since this government took over, who have instituted violence during election and campaign time? Is it not the CDC? So what is the responsibility of the government? The government responsibility is to provide security for all, whether you for the government or against the government. And the election violence that is breeding out, it is CDC that have their people to carry on these violence. In my 1 minute that I have left, I want to say this to every one of us. As long as you are not for the ruling party, you are in opposition. And there is a reason for us to be our own security. And the reason why I'm stating this, because at the end of the day, you're going to be targeted as the one that committed the act. Make sure you have your phone to record to serve as your evidence. Look at the university students that will not handle what became of that case. So it is time for each and every one of us, to prepare to be our own security and go out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Go next, Jerry.
Yeah, thank you very much. The issue about intimidating opposition leaders, the issue concerning the guy who died, I got credible information. There's a hit and run mechanism by the security, the NSA and joint security. So, like those Texans that they have around town, they are all there. Sometimes if they see maybe Mo Ali, Jerry Yimpan walking on the street and they can't get you easily, they just hit you and run. You can't stop them. Even if you see the car and pretend, because some of them are plateless, they don't have plates. So the government is doing everything possible to crack down on opposition leaders. opposition, actors. So it's a hit and run situation that they are doing now. So the guy that died, the information I got was it was a hit and run. They hit him, the vehicle escaped, and nobody can get it today because it's from the NSA. And this vehicle came in the name of the NSA, Finabondo, and all of these people. So I mean, the main issue is we have to be very careful and build. Like for me, I'm flying to Monrovia anytime soon. I will not announce the time I'm flying because we need to form part of the conversation. Even if I don't have gun, I will have people with cutlasses or in my car. We'll have stones in my car because I know the kind of criminals and people we are going to interface with, we are going to interact with. So they have a hit and run. Everybody should know that if you are even driving, like somebody confided in me from the security force, they were referencing, and the way Ada Lauren died on the hill, okay, we got DeLon, we got Mo Ali, we got all the people, we got people in the system that are informing us that you have to be careful the way you're driving, where to go, how to move. They got a hit and run mechanism. So they will continue
30
to
seconds.
do it. Yeah, 30 seconds. We need to be careful. I really sometimes feel for and all of our friends that are in Monrovia and the way you manage it, it's not an easy thing. So they hit the wrong thing. It's a serious matter. Like no taxi to get around. It's so frustrating. The guy that died, may his soul rest in peace. But this is the beginning. They will continue to do this. When I saw the list that came up about people they want to deal with, so this is the mechanism. A government that claims to be popular will not continue to do that. But we are getting ready for them. We are getting ready for them. Let's be aware that they have those taxes in town. Now they can't get anybody in terms of maybe visiting your house. They don't know where you stay. When they see you on the road, they hit you and run. So we have to be aware of that.
Thank you, Jerry. Ali, Larma, Chupor, and Pierre.
Thank you, Stephen. This is a very serious issue, and it's good that we are discussing it. I know we all have issue with Senator Johnson. People have issue with him.
By the way, is it possible for us to talk to him via phone?
I've been trying to get him. I will continue to try. Once we get him, we'll see if we can get him on the line.
Okay.
This is not about Senator Johnson mainly, but it is about the way the new tactics the guys have employed to get at people. Firstly, their intent is to silence Senator Johnson. I don't know what has happened between them. They and Senator Johnson, they were moving, they were cozy, they were doing their roller coaster thing. We didn't care. Now they begin to send threatening messages, not only to Senator Johnson, but even to Senator Jeremiah Kun. I saw a chat in one of their chat rooms that say they should persuade Senator Jeremiah Kun to get him back, to get him on their side. And for those of you who don't know, Jeremiah Kun has not supported the CDC before. In 2011, 2017, he supported the Unity Party. And the second part to that strategy was that if they can't get him, the exact word is we should deconstruct him. What they mean by deconstruct, I don't know. But if they are attempting to get to a man like Senator Johnson, who is security man there, whose history is not secret in this country, then it means that they can get at any of us. And what Jerry was saying, I believe it. Because we all know some of those auditors, how they were killed. Matthew Innes, it was the same hit and run thing. The other guy who died in the car accident, I forgot his name. Fambutu. That was car accident. Then you go to the representative Adolph Lawrence. Car accident. Now, they are not doing their own to say, okay, we can't catch you and go do something. They have adapted a whole new style. And this is what we got to be careful with. You know, in the night, people say, oh, you don't go flesh, you don't go to this other place, you don't go to that other place. I say, yeah, let me sit home. It's another reason why I am very, very afraid of crossing road. You will not catch me crossing road easily, especially the major boulevard. Yeah, Stephen, I don't just venture there to cross road because you never know where somebody is coming from. So they can hit you. Like what happened to Yana? He was just crossing, they hit him, poof, they gone. Because Yana Boy has been, even though he works with the government, he has been a very known UP partisan. That has been no secret. And so the threat to Senator Johnson is a threat to the opposition. It's not because of Senator Johnson that we are talking. If they want to arrest him, if they have a charge from the court or something, let them go arrest him and carry him to court. But to begin to attempt to threaten people, and we are going into elections and they brought in guns in this place, is fearful. Thank you.
Ali, I see people complaining the radio stations are off. Can you send a text to Senator Dillon?
Yeah, I'm just about to do that.
Yeah, and see what's going on with the radio station. Yeah, my people will beg you. We're working on it. Just bear or we sent a text already. Lama.
But when they say the radio station, what do you mean? You put your station out on?
No, the people in Monrovia are complaining.
Yeah, but I said the thing on the show the other day, and people were in disagreement. Most of the times, yeah, I had to call them radio.
Which one of the stations?
Only one station in Monrovia will carry the show, that Bourgeois, and most of the time people complain that they're not on. Most time people complain.
Yeah, let at least send a text because Premium is on in Banga. The other station, I think, is the one in Monrovia. Fofi, we're trying to address the issue of that radio station. So, Lama, Jupo, and then Pia.
Yes, Stephen. I think it's by constitution, by law, it is the.
I think they said no. I think they said LEC gone. As I learned in some places. Go ahead, Lama.
Yeah. So it is the responsibility of the state to provide security for all of its citizens. And what we have seen over the last 5 years and a half for the CDC government, this is only in theory. Now, the actual application of the rule of law has been mutilated, and pieces of those mutilations dash all over the place. We begin by seeing and witnessing the pattern of violence perpetrated by this administration in March of 2019 with the death of Matthew Ennis. And they continue with that pattern up to 2 weeks later with a car, right? And then Gifted and Abbott in the same car situation. And then they moved from that pattern to electoral violence. We saw what happened with Yeke in Maryland when during the midterm election, when the CPP at the time was doing a nationwide tour. We saw what happened in District 15 and District 18. We saw this pattern, and now we've moved to a phase where the government now is using threats and intimidation against its own citizens, especially those who are against the regime and are tough talking against them. This is the characterization of the CDC. Now, people like to say that we as a man of peace, goes to the United Nations and boasts that part of his administration successes has been to maintain the peace in Liberia, to consolidate the peace. He boasts of going back in time, as being, UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, as working on Madam Salif as peace ambassador. But one can be a man of peace yesterday and diverge from that and being a man of violence. What has been leadership when it comes to violence perpetrated against his citizens? He has either remained muted, and in instances where he have to talk, he have asked the citizens to buy CCTV. When Mount Mary in Busa Quarter cannot even afford a cup of rice, where's she going to buy CCTV from? So this man is not a man of peace. This man administered and set over a party that is reckless, that have orchestrated different forms of violence, and he remained muted. And on top of that, a man of peace is someone who believes in the rule of law. who does not violate the Constitution at will. We see rampant corruption. Cases of corruption of the 16 million, the 25 million investigated, nothing came out of it. You can't be a man of peace and violate the country's resources and violate the country's constitution, and you claim peace to yourself. So this is a party of violence headed by a man who just doesn't care about peace, who doesn't understand his history, who doesn't understand how far we've come as a nation to even reach this point of our post-conflict dynamics. So we don't believe that we are as a man of peace, and we challenge him at every level of that. The last point I'd like to strike on this is that we have to join YECA. We have to reinforce what YECA is doing. YECA should not be alone. We must muster the courage to beef up its effort. If it calls for us to have auxiliary of YECA brigades in our various parties so that young men can be trained and operate under the command of YECA, we need to start looking at that, because this is serious. The security of all of us in opposition is a paramount concern, and we cannot continue to sit for people who are clueless, who have run the country as though it's their Santa Centurion, their personal property, to think that their survivability depends on another 6 years, and therefore they have to eliminate all critical verses against them.
Thank you. Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Chupo.
Yes, so for me, I'll start by under the regime of President George Manuel Weah, it is of no secret that unexplained deaths, secret killings, and several other atrocities against humanity are being carried out. President Weah is one person who, was given, an ambassador position, that's peace ambassador position, but following his sentence as president, he can even prove to Liberian people that yes, he's a man of peace, that yes, he can actually maintain the peace of the country. So in the issue of the politics, the issue of several sons and daughters of the country who were actually murdered, and the government cannot even provide, a release on it, like the brother was saying, just to come out and to actually give some, a statement that other people described as reckless. And so let's get it straight. Senator Prince Johnson himself is a warlord, but what he's actually saying is the clear truth. You observe that if you are actually speaking against this government, and they have means of getting to you, they will get to you by if you actually came to hit them with 5, they actually come to you with 1,000. And in return, since our citizens are defenseless, this government and its people will actually murder them, and of course the situation will remain unexplained. So actually, statement from Senator Prince Johnson is actually truth, and we are not actually supporting him. Thank you.
Okay, you still have more. You have 5 more seconds. You keep it when you come back. That's how you exhaust. Pierre, let hear you.
All right. I know you're pushing the straight adherence to time, but you may end up.
I'll give you some flexibility.
You may end up spare me a few seconds.
Yeah, I'll give you some flexibility.
The first thing I want to say, and I'm saying it probably because I want for our followers to follow. Nobody has been doing very well, both with Radio Dupa and D15. And Monrovia is the epicenter of our politics. If we have only D15 that is in Monrovia, and the condition is that they will only be on when LEC is on, then those who are our followers who believe in JMB should step in so we do something. So for example, every time the show is supposed to go on, and LEC is not there, we need to be able to take that responsibility to make it to put a generator on. Because to have the show, and people in the epicenter are not listening, only Basel, the other places, the impact is not going to be as strong as if we're having a show being heard in Monrovia. I know Shatta used to carry the show. For whatever reason, we don't hear one Shatta anymore. So we have to work on that. That's one. Number two, on the issue now, if the cities, first of all, let me say, I believe President Prince Johnson's accusation that people want to kill him, especially the government people want to kill him. I believe it. The second thing is, it will be a catastrophic mistake on the part of the government to attempt killing a son of Nima, particularly somebody who the people of Nima have seen as a hero. Prince Johnson gets elected continuously because the people of Nima believe in him. I followed his interaction with the Spoon people yesterday and the other guy who always try to be negative. He said, "Remember, tell him what he has done." The message the father who have elected me the number of times that I've been 3 times. If it doesn't tell you that it's a reason why they're doing it, you want me to go and explain to you what I have done, then sit down there. So to make a mistake to say you want to kill that kind of person, I don't think Georgia and people will have plenty to say when they try it. And we got to be honest about this. Nima County in the politics of our country has been affected so grossly by violence. One of the reasons why when Taylor came in 1990, the sons and daughters of Nima embraced Taylor and they constituted the biggest portion of Taylor fighting forces. And Prince Johnson mentioned it in one of his interviews, I think yesterday. He said what brought the trouble in this country was the killing of Kuompa. He was reminding them, if you think Samuel Doe came and killed Kuompa, and you now who people say you men of peace can come today and try to kill another son of Nima, especially this one who fought war, try it, Mr. We are you and your people. Maybe you want to hasten the time of your government, because if you try that, we may not even reach the election. Make that mistake and kill Prince and Jeremiah Coon and see whether you even end your term. That's stupid. I don't know who can advise these people. They've been stupid. All right? Why do they forget history? I heard Prince saying there wasn't Koji is the new Tele Onowia. And you all know who Kono Tele was. Kono Tele led the death squad, killing people all over the place. He led people to the Lutheran church and killed people. Where is Tele today? Where's Charles Drew? All these people who are committing evil against the same Nima people. Where are they? And after that, you come and you look at what Prince said. I don't know what many of you listen. The man said this man caused speech from people 24/7. He said at the end of the message, this man saw Jeremiah Coon and another representative from Nima Stanley. He embraced the representative and refused to speak to Jeremiah Coon because they're against him politically. Remember also, Prince said in our same conversation that McGill, and this should be something that should catch everybody's attention. McGill was sanctioned. We are saying he resigned. They do better with McGill 24/7. What they want to talk to Prince Johnson, that McGill was saying. What they want to do, that McGill was saying. Prince Johnson said something that McGill did say to him, that if they run against Weah, is a declaration of war. And he said when he tried to challenge McGill, only McGill tried to play around with him, say, I'm talking about political war. And he said, he told McGill, no, you're not talking about political war. Because I have been here and see people being killed here, there, yellow. So you're not talking about political war. The guys are so silly, they're so desperate for power, they're forgetting about everything that has happened in the past. And look, they are peace ambassador, you're always talking about. Right? Let me tell you my perspective. You know, our press secretary represents Sally where we're happy. And I don't want to read into what she did. But here is my thought. She didn't give the job to Mr. Weah because he was an element of peace. The CDC always conducted themselves, they've always been like that, like some kind of mini terrorist group. They were always gearing up for chaos and confusion. I think all President Sally was trying to do was to tie Mr. Weah's hand. Because if you are the peace ambassador and your political party is causing chaos 24/7, they reflect back on you. So as smart as President Sally is, all that she was doing, when I gave the man peace ambassador, Tony, as soon as you go get in the city, one culture, you say, you're not a peace ambassador, you stand that. It did not really mean that he's anybody of peace. All right? This guy, there are news around that he financed Model, Lord, and all these people, especially Model, that needs to be investigated. He cannot be a man of peace when you supported a warring faction. And at least for the 6 years we gave him, the things he's done do not reflect that he's anybody of peace. And I will close on this. Prince Johnson said one thing. He said he was in the country's national army And for many of you people who don't know, Prince Johnson was a lieutenant in our normal day army. When Prince Johnson brought RMPF and he captured Gusho Island and other places, and he cajoled Doe that they should get together to fight Taylor, Doe commissioned him in the barrack as Brigadier General. So all the rebel people called General that get titled again, Prince Johnson is a rebel Brigadier General who got commissioned by the sitting president of the country. So he's been around in the security sector, and he says, no time in the history of Liberia has the city police carried guns. Only under Jefferson Koji, the city police officers are armed to the teeth. We got to pay attention to those things. And so, yes, to conclude, I believe it. This government is so intolerant. They kill people. They just kill Prince Colley. They kill their own auditors. They've killed a lot of other people. Look, ask yourself, Stephen Johnson. Ellis Coffey are your friend. When Ellis Coffey disagreed with the people and he had to run away for the country, say Ellis let the country not go by?
No.
You think he know why he has not gone by? Towa Nyesu, they tried to run behind him. Since Towa left the country, has he gone by?
In fact, Ellis confronted 2 hours on live TV.
So these guys are killers, and even people who work with them before know they are killers, and the smart ones always got themselves up. Those who miscalculate will fall in their place, but you try Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kuhn, you may not even reach election. That's what I got to say.
Thank you. So if anybody got a comment, you got a minute to make a comment to that, a minute each. Everybody got a comment to say before we move on to the next.
Yes, I have something to squeeze in quickly, Stephen. You know, Brother Pierre struck a very important point. You know, Madame Salib, she's a political tactician, right? It was a calculator move to say, Ambassador, you will hold peace, Ambassador, while we maintain you in opposition. Look, a lot of people tend to forget. You know, my young brother Jupor, you know, probably, you know, I have some little age over you, Jupor. You say we are as a man of peace, but no, let me tell you, Jupor. We all remember the infamous flogging of a young man from the CDC Youth League, Salinto Montgomery, when he disagreed with how the party were proceeding and especially how they produced Ambassador Weah as political leader. On the orders and accusation of Jefferson Koji and other people, we saw Salinto Montgomery mercilessly beaten. Many of you need to go probably look at Google the Salinto Montgomery story. In fact, we saw the petrol bombing of their former chairman.
All the chairmen were beaten before they left.
You talk about Geraldine Doe Sharif. What are you talking about? Eugene Nangbe, who property was bombed, petrol bomb. So we have known all of these things. He sits in the back and presents himself as if he's a peace person. No, he knows everything that's going on. So, and even our international friends are paying very key attention. When they talk about extrajudicial killings, you cannot be the president of the country and tell me that Mr. Weah is not informed about 70% of these killings that go on in the country. When in the midst, while these families were mourning the loss of their relatives, Weah said to the public that the people were probably in the car making love. They go do boyfriend and girlfriend thing, and a while and Gifty Lama and Abba Peter Pass. That was one of the utmost disrespect to a mourning family. That a person, people would die and want to find answer, and the president of the country dismiss it and no account of investigation or even on a top set to bring closure on what happened. It is troubling, Stephen.
Thank you.
Very troubling.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Stephen. You know, when I left from Sino, you know, from 1990 to 2001, I was in Sino up to 2000. When I went to Zwedru, I attended the Zwedru Multilateral High School. George Weah was one of the persons, you know, I thought I didn't see him, but he was in Zwedru. Because I can remember on March, I think 22nd or 23rd, when Model hit Zwedru in 2003, we have visited Zwedru prior to the war. You know, in Zwedru, when Model, because we were like on campus, and you know, Model, the only thing that blessed us, Model was not shooting sea level. They were like shooting in the air. I was in Zwedru. I attended Zwedru Multilateral. I attended the Todman Wilson Institute before Zwedru Multilateral. So if people are saying that we are, you know, associated with Model,
you announce that Bushra Radio is on. Go ahead. Sorry, Jerry.
Yeah. You know, so when people continue to say that, because even Taylor visited Zwedu when I was in Zwedu, the last visit he ever, you know, to do, Moses Blah and all of them, they visited and they left. But George Weah, everybody like stop. So if people continue to say and associate him with Model, you know, I try to really believe, because you see, it is unfounded. The only thing we could see from Weah is say peace ambassador and all of that, besides the accountability factor about some of the fundings that were given to him, Weah did not do anything to resemble somebody who want to bring peace. They only play football to PHP. That's all we know. Weah is a violent person. All of the comments that anybody who insult me from here moving forward, you know, will not walk in the street freely. Now it's been clearly manifested. So, I mean, I want to believe strongly that Weah has something to do with Model. He's not a peace person. He has not been peaceful. He's been the kind of violent guy. So we need to take a radical approach against Weah.
Thank you.
With Jefferson Koji and other people carrying guns and carrying all kinds of recklessness, I think we need to teach Weah a lesson. Even if it calls for me to be called General Jerry Yimpa, I think we can get ready for that.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. Pastor Boy, you want to say something?
Yes, sure. You know, what Honorable Pia said is true. The peace title that was given to George Weah is to stabilize him as an opposition to take control of his men. But even as he served as United Nations Peace Ambassador for UNICEF, there is no photo that he went to disarmament camp and conducted a disarmament. There is no photo, there is no video. He didn't even go to any disarmament camp. It was the peacekeeper and the Liberians were tired fighting and they decided to surrender. He didn't go there. But if we look at the prevailing situation and unfolding situations in our nation since George Weah took over, where have he spoken against the violence, against Talia Ure, against the violence, against Cornelia Crow, against the violence, or against, I think it was Clarence or Kezuru of Kitma County, where the Vigo, the Unity Party Vigo was set ablaze? Where did he spoke against the violence against Botokane in Babalu? Have he ever spoken? Look at the death of William Aratobo II, after he had a meeting with George Weah that night in the presence of McGill, that investor wants to come into the country, but the way the country going is driving investor away. He left that day, he was brutally murdered. You know, whenever I think on the murder, the mysterious death in Liberia, I get emotional. I really don't like to talk about it. Who have been arrested? George Weah is not an ambassador of peace. It's just a title that have been given to him. He's not exhibiting it as an ambassador of peace. And I think it is time for the opposition to put their acts together for us to do what we're able to do to protect our candidates and protect our votes. Thank you.
You see, Shaq is making a very strong point here, and I just highlighted a comment. And this is why when we had the show the other day, we were talking about, and Ali was talking about how they have posters, the government have posters across the country. We said we need to do it because we need to return the favor. Because this election, Prince Johnson, long time ago, predicted all of what is happening in 2023. You remember there's a video we play here. Prince Johnson said 2023 there will be violence. He said that. And at the time he said that, he was the national security, he was the chairman on national security in the Liberian, at the Liberian Senate. And so he was privileged. He was privileged with certain classified information that none of us on this platform may have had. And so we have to be mindful. Our antenna will have to be up. The opposition will have to start setting up strong militant brigades within their party. The youth league will have to be mobilized in ways that they can be able to deal with these issues. And let me just say this, party officials going to radio station should be well escorted. Should be well escorted. You can go to a radio station with your hands swinging and fire on your hand. These are critical times. Not less than 50 persons should escort Amos Tuatu to a radio station. Because these are critical times. What you are up against a system that is corrupt, a cabal that has looted for the last 6 years and fear that if they should lose power, you will go after them. So some of them will prefer to die than to turn power over. This is what we are up against. And anybody else with any more comment, then we can.
If you prefer to die, there are people who will be willing to help you to die. Because power is not anybody's inheritance. Liberia is almost 200 years, and they've always been leaders. There were people yesterday called ministers before you came today. So the privilege you have to be a minister is not an inheritance that you cannot leave. You are elected by the people when they vote you or you leave. That's why it is. And to what Sheikh said, yeah, it's good for Sheikh and ought to be making this comment. I don't know where Sheikh lives, but how many people in Liberia have been brave while they get Koruba Day? He said it will not be podcast, it will not be press release. Okay, everybody will not do the same thing. So some people will be doing podcasts. But for those who are on the ground, Yaka put this brigade together ever since he brought all the investment, we all saw it. How many people from the opposition have gone voluntarily to Yaka and say, we want to be a part of this stuff? And Larma said it. Got to embrace what Yaka is doing. Are we embracing what Yaka is doing? I don't think so. So if the people are serious, somebody has taken the lead. Go and join Yaka. The very UP should encourage their militants to go and be a part of Yaka's enrichment. Or if they don't want to fall on what somebody is doing, do your own. I saw in Lofa, right after that elections, the United Party people in Lofa, they formed something that also looks like a paramilitary group.
Yeah.
The message they were sending out when they did that is enough is enough. What we saw here during the senatorial by-election, we'll never see it again. When you bring it, the fire for fire. Well, that's how you take the action. Not to say that just complain. You embrace the thing that other people are doing. If you don't want to embrace it, who will do it for you? Who should do it for you? Because the more people do this thing, you save the country. Because I can tell you this, and I will keep saying it whether people want to hear or not. To rig the elections will be a big mistake on the part of we are. First of all, the international people, and I was making reference just a few weeks ago, because Nigeria is having election this month, the 20th of this month. They already issued, the State Department already issued a statement targeting those who will undermine the credibility, the security, and transparency of that election. The same will be done about Liberia. The same thing. That's a compliment for the international people. The rest of it left with us. If you decide that when we are waiting, let you pull your hands up to you. But no, what some of you will be folding your hands. There are some people who will not fold their hands. Oh, yeah. Maybe it will take some time for what they want to do to manifest, but it will happen. If you read the elections, oh my God, you will get a better period and you're not surviving. And I can't go and say, you're capping for them, federal good thing. And anyone, Bilal Abro will give a Bilal Abro. Nobody is saying we're getting Bilal Abro. We say, just don't rig the election. Do the right thing. But when you rig the elections and think that people will clap for you and say, oh, just forget it. You're not happy already for 2029, you better think again. You can buy all the guns, even the guns that they get brought, that somebody will say, all of a sudden the investigation about the gun disappear.
Yeah, nobody can say anything.
Why the not say anything anymore? Oh, they take the gun and they go to Jefferson Koji and death squad to use it more to kill. And what they doing?
I think the issue of that gun, even the news about it, it really someone made mistake. Their real intent was to bring those guns under the cover of darkness and just give it to their guys.
They said the guy from Smallham, did not have the intelligence, the security intelligence that guns were coming. So they blew the alarm. Now, when they blew the alarm, the thing went viral. Now they couldn't handle it, but to come out and just say.
And Atlas, somebody smuggled the arm in, and so they called the journalists, most of them. And you know, when you say it, then the journalists come in your inbox. Oh, you accusing journalists, they bribe most of them not to talk.
But how come somebody will ship that kind of arm for America? They're not arrested in America.
They're bringing more of the guns.
But the first thing, somebody shipped over 250 arms to from America to Liberia. That person will not be arrested yet.
Exactly. And they
And
pass
the day
through
the
the port.
president,
They even free some and carry to.
was presenting his sonar, another consignment entered the country again. Another consignment entered the country.
But
To
you
be
know,
honest.
lastly from my end, on this issue of rigging election, Pierre is right. If we just sat down there and fold our arms and act scared, then the people will play on us. And like I was telling some people yesterday, I was in a meeting actually in District 3. There where I was when, in fact, Senator Johnson called to tell me that there were threats to his life and the people want to arrest him. Look, if we can stand up now for ourselves, by the time they finish with us, you'll be sitting down and we all will be beggars. And you will not only be beggars, but they will be whipping you. That thing where VAR people used to do prior to the war, when you call, before in Cape Man, when you call the president name, the next thing you'll see one VAR woman, one VAR people coming. No, don't call the people president name. Don't put your money in the people thing. When the war came, that was not people thing, that was everybody thing. It affected every one of us. When you just attempt, I'm not saying when you rig the election, when you just attempt to rig it, because that process of attempting will bring chaos. When you start to attempt, they've done all kinds of things to people. We went to neck, they bust our vehicles off, they've been attacking us. This time around, we're not going to sit. We will protect ourselves. When you attack us, we will attack you to that statement. Senator Dillon made the other time. He said, when the people steal me, I will steal the president convoy by. It looks like we got to make more of those statements. They have to understand that they do not have any monopoly over violence. No one person was born cool and the other person born with violence. It's an inborn tendency that can be awakened in every human being. So let it keep trying. You may attempt to rig the election without even rigging it, will cause trouble.
So, Steve, 1 minute when I the situation concerning Prince Johnson, I'm paying serious attention to it, not his political side, because I've always said consistent on the show that whatever Prince Johnson decides to do politically is up to him. But I'm interested in the truth of the matter that he's saying. All right? If the message you are not doing anything in your field, that's an issue that we have to listen to. You say you met a couple that has $0 in it. That's something we have to listen to. The man say you lie. Because he had a chance to sit with President Sally and he glanced at the train overload. And whatever you say was a lie. I pay attention to that, whether you support you or not, that one, none of my business. Even though yesterday he saw that he will not do it. But here's one of the things that caught my attention. I listened to the repeat actually because of Prince Johnson. Some of the panelists on that platform, you did not have the courage to discuss the indictment of your CEO, who's indicted in a country like this for crime totaling 114 million. But you are questioning Prince Johnson about killing. And I like some of the answer you are giving. Because when the other freedom bought out telling about killing, he said, young man, you know what they call war? In war, people kill. If you don't kill your enemy will kill you. That's war. It's different. You are telling me it's different from a peaceful democratic situation where people just disappearing, people dying. He said that's not a comparison for you to make. And all the negative things about Prince Johnson, they were digging it up. And then one of the things that just happened, I just shook my head. I said, but so that men are asking Prince Johnson all these questions from 2017 up to now. You know that Prince Johnson been beyond CDC. So all the things you're talking about now, saying he knew it, why he didn't attack Prince Johnson ever said? Why he say you care or we want you to go away from CDC? Oh, only because he's not supporting CDC now. So, and he said, don't mind the people there. When I'm on their side, then I'm injured.
Holy Ghost.
Yeah, Holy Ghost. When I go against them, they are murderer, I kill her, I do that. And that's what they're doing. And for that platform, it's so vexing because they don't even have the stomach to discuss the big issue concerning the owner of that platform. And some of them feel proud to say on that platform. Some of them get on their resume, on public places, panelists as spoon ever. If I was on that platform, Stephen, let me tell you, the way I on the platform, And if, for example, you were the owner of the platform or dealing with the owner of the platform and they got indicted for anything, I take a sabbatical on the platform until your issue is resolved.
Exactly.
For me to have the owner of a network indicted, and I still sitting there and say I'm on a platform.
Pretending that nothing happened.
Yeah, it tells you that myself don't have no moral. I don't even I'm not even qualified to discuss the issues of our country, the excesses of our country, because I don't have the standing myself. The man who owns a place is indicted. You got anger chin on your feet. You refuse to talk about it. You still sit on that platform. If you respect yourself and your standing, you should recuse yourself from that place until this matter is settled. But they don't have it. But I play prison and go, so other people respect you. You go to a criminal enterprise, the people don't even have the guts to discuss something that concerns, that's so serious because the person who there is somebody that they connected to, paying every month. Is that it? Why should I go sit on the kind of to discuss other people talking about prison, talking about who won't care, who won't do that? Why? They don't have stomach. They stand for nothing. If you can disassociate from that thing until your CEO has not raised himself, then you're worth nothing.
Good point, Pierre. Good point. Very good point. Guys, anybody else want to say something? I think we'll just stick on the topic until we go open the phone line because this is an interesting conversation and no need for us to shift to kill the momentum. And Pierre, you talk about, I was let me say this about this whole Spoon CEO thing. I sat for a while and I was thinking about this very thoroughly. We know the story of how Stanton's father was a victim of medical malpractice. He died, and Stanton through it got some funding from insurance. In my reading of courses, most of the time people who take on courses take these courses when they are victimized by certain life-changing events. So, for instance, you see that if somebody's family member was killed by a gun, they now join the fight against the ownership of gun by private citizens. They join those campaigns. So if this guy's father had died because of medical malpractice, the wisest thing to do was to enter the system and help to weed out phony nurses, phony medical practitioners who themselves will contribute towards this industry being vilified. That is what I thought would be a really natural cause for any reasonable person to take on. To the contrary, he chose to enter this field and flood it with more potential perpetrators who could create similar harm, similar or more devastating harm to other people that could even resort to more dangerous lawsuits. It speaks to somebody who has the mind of a sociopath. And this is dangerous for our country. This is dangerous. It's dangerous because these are the people who presented themselves in the body politics of our country as the moral police, as the moral conscience of society, where everybody else is considered corrupt except for them. And so this is why it becomes concerning. And if you cannot muster the intestinal fortitude to speak to this, then you have no credibility, you have no standing in discussing corruption in Liberia or discussing criminal activity anywhere on planet Earth. There should be a call to all of us collective conscience. And I'll rest on this. Anybody else?
You are right, Stephen. I think this is my first comment on the stuff. It's unfortunate because the entire story had two sides. It had criminal nature, it had human security issues. Because if you flood the market with incompetent people, especially in the medical field, because this is where lives should be protected. And then, I was shocked when I followed the news. And then there were certain people who claimed to come with equity, on the issue of discussing, morality or issue of corruption, but you've not heard them. Sometimes they try to politically window dress the issues. But this is criminal. You cannot, put the lives of people. That's why, I was telling somebody, I said, all of the Liberians or Africans that have committed crimes in the United States, if you put all of their crimes together, Stanton's own crime can triple it. Put all of their crimes together, a crime, because the people are discussing it from human security perspective. You can put people in the medical field to say, yeah, you know anything, even like Jerry Impan, we know anything.
Yeah, 50K, I'll give you 3.5 GPA.
Yeah, I give you stuff, 3.5 GPA, go to the hospital and go get somebody injection. I mean, this is unacceptable. That's why when I listen to certain platforms, they don't talk about it. Meanwhile, you were very vocal on certain issues in our country. Every now and then, you questioning certain people. I hope America Basan did not. I think that's where he got a team from, right? So it is a serious matter. Yeah, maybe.
One minute, Jerry, when Joseph Boakai robbed private jet, that big discussion point. Joseph Boakai was in the hospital, that big discussion point. When Stephen Johnson fat, that discussion point. But somebody got it for 114 million. Then they ask the man Moran to say, what a training issue over there today? The man say, oh, the only training issue here at Western Cluster.
But you want that? What do you expect my man Baron to say?
Baron is a journalist and he's supposed to report the facts.
And then Stephen, they are not saying that in the American jurisprudence, if you are indicted by the grand jurors, the FBI are considered as the grand juror. Whenever the FBI indict you, there are 99.99999% that you will be guilty. So many persons will not say, hey, maybe they are on some kind of platform sitting there or spoon talk. They will not talk about it. This is unfounded. We need to condemn people whenever. That's why even when I was in the Ellen Johnson Stanley government, if I saw something wrong, we talk about it. We spoke about it. So when we criticize the we are government, so we need to be holistic. This is a country that people coming, you claiming to come with clean hands, and then you get involved in activities. You are a U.S. citizen, but your origin, the way you started to melt into our politics and make yourself to appear like you are a serious person, this is completely disappointing. It is unfortunate because you can't come and make yourself to know that you are Jesus or you some kind of person, and then you involve them. Certain people cannot talk.
Jerry,
if you put all the crimes together, Americans or Liberians or whoever Africans are committed, Stanton Waterspoon crime can triple it because there's a federal crime and you are indicted by the grand juror. Those of you who have some legal background will understand when the grand jurors indict you, it means that the same people are going to say, yeah, they think you're talking against me and not true. So, I mean, all the things we're talking is unfortunate. So, I don't know how these people will come back and have the moral ground to come and question our candidate. who have demonstrated seriousness over the last 40 years of a public service. God, that Tanapole can say that, I know who can say that God beat them so. That God beat them so.
Can I read something? Can I read something, please?
I think what Omar can say that God pity them.
I think I'm married for fun.
Yeah.
No.
But
still, I just want to say this quickly,
let me throw weight on this, right?
Let Lama go, then you go, Darlington.
All right. Cool.
So for me, it's not by accident that Stanton appeared and surfaced over the last 2 years within the political space, the landscape. It was calculated. It was intentional. He began by charity, donating to both the government and the opposition. You know, in Liberia, we have a way of celebrating people when they do good. You know, we're all investigating where the source of the money comes from, right? A hungry man don't ask where it comes from. Once you give him a bowl of rice, a cup, you know, he celebrates you. And that's the case because we have this inherent dependency syndrome in the country, largely caused by the war and partly by the lack of job, which have made our people very lazy. And so our people always look out for handout, you know. And Stanton used that occasion to popularize himself within the political landscape. And then the next step was, I think it's necessary to control the narrative, right? So you saw him on a project to purchase most of the media institutions. Now, my point here is that this intentional effort was meant to land somewhere. Your character now has been decimated. You have no integrity, and there's a big cloud over your institution. Now, you've started with a history of bringing people under the microscope, the moral microscope, you know, condemning in some cases, challenging in many cases. Our concern is with the remaining panelists. You have a man like Ben Senvi, who still maintains, is once a chairman, always a chairman, right? Who has also been within the political landscape. His history has been mutilated. He doesn't take a side unless there is something there for him. You have people like Ben Senvi. I don't expect that Ben Senvi will even speak to this issue. He has absolutely zero moral to speak to the issue of Stanton. But I'm surprised by people like Dr. Peabody and Dr. Richardson.
Can you go a step further on the ban issue? I mean, you can just say something and leave it hanging, give a reason. We know.
But everybody know Ben's story is
and a lot of people listen, you know, so go ahead.
Yeah, it's an open book, you know.
Yeah, the
I think
PSG
even up to the day, the late Councillor Bernstein is not happy where he is. The Liberty Party people regretted that one of the fundamental mistakes they have ever made in the history of the party. But from the time they made that decision, it was a glaring call. People saw it as a symbol of hope for a lot of young people. That a young man who was sent to that position at the age he ascended to that position, it was unprecedented. It was the first time in the history of opposition political landscaping. But later, the Liberty Party and all of us who celebrated Ben at the time know that this man has always been trained by the garden of the morning. Where there is morning, you find Ben. So he has zero moral, absolutely, to even speak on to the Stanton's issue. You don't expect a man like Keft. He carries Honorable Keft. You understand it?
Never worked before any public service. Never had any position.
No, Larima, please, man.
To speak to the issue. So I'm not surprised that the remaining panelists will not speak to the issue as a trending issue.
Pia, who are former deputy minister, former press secretary, don't you carry honorable detail?
I heard Eugene Fagon complain on the show the other day that they can call Kev honorable, and he who are whole deputy minister, they can call him honorable.
What kind of honorable? But you know, they got something Kofi Wu used to say. Kofi Wu said, he said, we've reached a point where under-ables have become honorables.
But just before you learn, on the ban issue you were talking about yesterday, on yesterday's show, the Umpo of Hawking and say,
you can crack photo.
Yeah, they said, man, you can crack photo, you will get to how they call it, playing Jamaica Resort. And his response was, why really? And I said, Liberia is in really trouble. The man said, When people talk the thing, I can't listen to them. I can just laugh because they're jealous because I'm a political stakeholder. I have a seat around the table. You know, when talk about politics in Liberia, we are the stakeholders. That's where he has placed himself, right? And so prostituting, going to the then he bragging about we is my friend. Okay, forget about we are. Everybody know. Anybody who believe that Ben was honestly in the opposition, that person was dreaming. Ben, Joel Howard Taylor is like Ben's mother. All that thing Ben was doing in Liberty Party, saying he chairman this out. He knew that Liberty Party was not going to win election, but he wanted that history to build a CV that I was chairman of a political party. He wasn't there because he believed he was going to win. So his interest was in Joel. That's the reason why as soon as they fell in the first round, Bronski said, "Yeah, wait for me." They said, "To hell with you. We're not here for that thing you own." Before Bronski could make up his mind, they were already to CDC. So all the time, and you know why he had a CDC people pass through? He wanted certain kind of opportunity. They didn't give it to him. He got pissed. He came back to America.
The man wanted to be LPRC managing director.
He was politically irrelevant. What did he do? He used Stephen Johnson there, joining their COP to rebrand himself. As soon as COP made him to be somebody again, then he started poking in Liberty Party business, collaborating with Billy, with John working with the government to destroy the CPP we all established today. The destruction of that movement. Ben name is written in our history. He along with Musa Belede alone. And in the Liberty Party, you saw him to the 4-7 acting that he on Belede side, trying to destroy nobody. Because for him, breaking them down makes it easier for the team he supports, you know, to track politically. So he just play around, he goes, Jamaica research.
Because a united Liberty Party will expose him because now he's going to take side with the Liberty Party. So when it's divided, you can get everybody can be all over and no noise will come.
So you don't have to wait for any formal announcement. Ben is already on the CDC side as far as the 2023 election is concerned. Period.
Chupo, Seba says you should say your number to her. So,
but you know,
something. Okay, that more finish.
I'm more finished.
You know, the point is, I've said always, we're not discussing Ben, but since he came in, let me give him a bit on it. Ben is never going to support us. He's never going to support the Liberty Party. As a matter of fact, it is to his taste that the Liberty Party is in turmoil, so he can use it as a justification to support the CDC. Like Pierre said, Joel is like a mother to Ben. Ben came down for Joel's birthday celebration. The moment he landed, Joel said, "Let's go to Togo." They came from Togo. He went straight to Wea. He just play out, go on the spoon talk and say this. I think that he's critical sometimes and this and that. These people are double-faced. They don't stand for any one side. So he comes to Liberty Party and help Musa Belede to destroy Liberty Party so that it gives the CDC the edge over the opposition. Like you said, Pierre, they are the main problems for us. They were the one who were full comments that you can win election. You're strong.
Yeah, you can beat Waka the convention.
Yeah, they were not doing it because they like Mr. Cummings. They were doing it because they did not want to see the holding the opposition holding together, because that would mean an imminent, even though we would defeat them, but it would have been an even more bigger victory than what it would be. So they did not want to see that. They set them up. Look, you guys are with us. We can use you. And so he started going, "Oh, Mr. Cummings, we can beat Waka in convention. In fact, you get him popular than Waka, you get money." That's what they did. And now today they are seeing things are falling apart for them, for the CDC.
And they're running away from Cummings.
The LPDP is on the verge of leaving. They are, even the LPDP, there is trouble there. They have a faction for the former speaker, what his name? Tyler and Moses Colley, they have their faction. They're not holding together. The MPP has factions within there. Now the Prince Johnson they were depending on, they disrespected him so much. The Prince Johnson can't take it anymore. They started causing Prince Johnson. And you know, Prince Johnson told one of his top person, he said, when we hold together in the opposition, Prince Johnson is now calling himself opposition. He said, you know, he told the person, he said the rest of the other people, they should just campaign. He won. Will take
what
on the
opposition
CDC.
make it to the runoff?
Wow.
That's why he told the person. The person was telling me today, he said more. The person said, the person said, he one will take on CDC. Nobody need to talk to them. He one will get distracted.
What opposition you make it to
But
the
the men
runoff?
already
We
doing
are
it. The men is mocking them.
Oh, yeah.
But the man said it. Why can the president get caught on speech from people 3.5 years? You don't speak to nobody.
The man refused to shake Jeremiah Kuhn hand when he at the Sona address.
Even the paper from your born country, Jupo, or your former representative, your former senator. Yala. Your former
Henrik Yala.
Jeremiah Srote. The job we are going to speak to them. No job, nothing. They're just floating around. If I Prince Johnson announced that Henrik Yala
A group of Jeremiah Srote.
with MDR.
The group of Jeremiah Srote, you go pull red beret on your own head.
MDR now.
Yeah, Prince Johnson said it with MDR.
Prince Johnson announced that he and Yala are member of MDR yesterday. I heard that.
Exactly.
But Jeremiah is a serious man. He sat under Yala put red beret. So I don't care about how they treat him.
All your head for job.
Let
me chip in on this Stanton issue, and from I'm one person who pay very keen attention. I do this for everybody. When somebody get on the radio, I pay keen attention to where you come from, your background, and I'm not just interested in hanging out with somebody who is well off, especially if I don't know how you made your money. But you said something, Stephen. Stanton made his break out of holding the American system accountable. It is out of the culture of accountability that Stanton sued in a tort claim for wrongful death, that healthcare professional or practitioner didn't exercise reasonable duty of care over his father. Because of such negligence, Mr. Stanton Waterspoon was rewarded with cash value to repair the damage that caused he and his family for the loss of their father. Here you are, fast forward, you yourself a nurse, after putting this system on record and holding the system accountable, you stand accused for serious charges. And I was telling somebody the other day, I said, this brother is even more dangerous than Hush Puppy. Because Hush Puppy was only using the key power of his computer to dupe people. But imagine Dalino Collins going to some hospital in Philadelphia. And for some reason,
over 3.8 GPA.
No. I encountered one of these fake nurses. Maybe I'm sick. And they cannot even give me IV. They cannot even give me drip to even keep me alive. It's very dangerous. I feel sorry for his family, that his family name is dragged into this. But Liberians must pay keen attention to people who come to political conversation. And people will make fun of all of it. You have men like Joseph Boyka who have been in public service and living on his earnings. To say, oh, the vice president live on loan, and people on Spoon Talk will be making mockery and fun of it. So when people serve in government, regardless of your position, is it intended that when you leave those positions, you carry a million
able to take bad loans, to be rich?
It's very sad. A friend of mine was telling me the other day, he said, Lord, my man, Dr. Tipote, even the rats, the old man Tipote house can go look for someone to eat. That is the psyche of the Liberian people, that when you work in government, that when you're in public office, you steal enough so that the day you are not in government, people can, recognize your contribution by the colorful houses you live in, by your fat bank accounts and the money you throw around. Yeah, they are the very same people of Bomi. Right in their midst, Edwin Snow have erected a monument of a mansion.
Let me ask you this question, Dalito. Let me ask you this question. The position Louis Brown served in when he was able to build his home on Robertson Highway, that even Taylor got embarrassed and removed him, is the same position Edwin Snow served in when he was able to raise enough money to run for office. Now, interestingly, Joseph Boyka served in that same position. LPRC managing director. How come Boyka, of the three men, is broke?
Well, but Stephen, you need to ask Honorable Snow to show us how he made that magic. You know, what kind of magic is that? That a man will work in a same office and you manage to amass acquire this degree of wealth, and people who accept in similar capacity, especially like Omen Bweka, you know, basically have been living in a house like he has. And that is the culture that our people must transition from that point. That a man's success is measured by how many horses he owns, the cars he drives. No.
Can they be laughing at Dr. Formula? The other day I see somebody.
I tell you.
Oh, Formula, they not get money.
When they get ready for me, they will tag me and they say, oh, your old man Formula stay in his house. Because, you see, that is the discipline that many of us young people don't have, Stephen. And I say this, and I say this to my family and my friends. I say, by God's grace, if some of us were opportune to serve in public service, the house that we own will be comfortable with that. If we can afford to build all our houses, we will. But if my father, for example, I don't believe in these building houses here and there. If my father left me 2-3 houses, Stephen, there will be no need to build a house. If my father never left me a house, so it's okay for me to build a house. If my father left me
If
my father left me a house, Stephen, I will not be taking a building house. Why would I want to build a house if my father have left me 2-3 houses? I can use my earnings to educate many young people and send people children to school, other poor people children. Yeah, people.
Darlington.
Yeah.
That the Formula daughter just got seated as a British MP. That the Formula not carrying behind a group of children who looking for ways to survive.
His son works with
his son works for Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera or Sky.
Yeah, he's Sky now. Yeah,
Sky News. Right? So if you come and say what that the Formula ain't go build houses around the country, for who to live inside? No, somebody
do family house and build colorful houses all over the country.
Some of the apologies of the government who've been criticizing us because of the hard stance we're taking on this show. One of the things they've been saying on their platform is that we're in government, we ain't get money, we squander and blah 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 blah. Because their definition is in a position you serve in government when you leave for there, you should have money. They don't concern about what's the salary of people who serve in public service. Nobody is anybody who gets rich in government, they should be subject to investigation. Because the money you work for is enough to keep you up, but it's not enough to make you rich. Yeah. If you got rich instantly in those capacities, you got to be a subject of investigation. And I'm saying that from experience because I was there.
It is even more financial intensive, right? Say, for example, if I'm offered a public service job in Liberia that will pay me $5,000 a month in Liberia, it will be more burdensome, even though I'm taking $5,000 as my paycheck, maybe after taxes. From the memo, and other people come here and asking me for baby top to send my other cousin to school. This one, that
the
one.
whole community. The whole community.
In fact, they will make the appointment as a Nukuta appointment. They say Nukuta is here. They will think, I'm telling you.
But that's what I've done it. That's what they say.
I've been living on maybe basically on petty cash and managed to erect a gigantic structure that nobody can explain how I managed to acquire that wealth. And until the Liberian debate can shift to issues and people start measuring people's success on the number of horses you own, how is that genuine to the debate?
And those of you who are not serving government before, as we close on the topic, let me give you the advice. All of you who are not serving government before. A good name is better than silver and gold. When you get the opportunity to serve in public sector, even if you leave from there, you can get fired out for yourself. But you are helpful to other people in whatever way you can. Those same people, you can go before, oh, Darlington, man, I'm picking a rubber, no food to the house today. Darlington will say when Pierre was in that position, not much, but when I was James, sometimes you give me the $50, I got to reciprocate. That kind of situation is better, right? Then for you to leave government, other reports are on, got meme all over the place.
Like they attack our old man Fumbler, who were just sending a lot of young people to Cotton University with his earnings.
But
get paid and send people at WSP all the commerce to school.
You're talking about Cotton University. When I was in exile, when Taylor chased up into exile and I was in Nigeria, my principal source of survival was at the family. When my family and I got ready to go back to Liberia, we were 4 in number. And the family sent the ticket that enabled us to buy our air ticket on Belfoot to go back to Liberia. He didn't do it because he stole government money you were having it. At that time, you were always visiting Nigeria. He was always a guest lecturer in the north there to many universities, right? But why was he doing it? He saw us like people who were standing against the aid of society and were pushed into exile. So as things got tough, he felt obligated to ensure that we lived there. So whenever he could, he sent. And when we wanted to leave after Taylor had been chased out, he said, we'll send an air ticket. He didn't do it because he stole government money, right? So when you start Stanton arriving in the place, government sending police, all those kind of place, because he has understood the psyche of our people, that when you get money, they worship you. So he was entering our body politics with cash violence. Every senior official in our government number was in the main phone, man, call anybody I will. They all were buying down to him that you saw. I don't know.
Before Stanton got indicted and be brought up, I think they were, and Eugene Fagon was making a point on the show, and Fagon has said, let me go to the user report. And Stanton just he said, my man Fagon, leader player talking, don't go to the user report. Send me your cash app. It's very funny that Eugene Fagon will want to dump in the report. And Stanton was shutting off and say, my man, leader player talking about, I don't know, don't go to that user report. My man Fagon, send me your cash app. It was very funny.
But I think they had a first hearing today at the court.
Yeah, I mean, we'll follow that very
closely.
Can I
read something while we discuss these
So let's announce the number so we can take some calls.
They're not hearing you.
I said to our listener, let me say we had a background meeting today. Did you see the show any uncertain time? We had a background meeting today, and we committed to trying to conduct the show within 3 hours. And the reason is very simple. When we go more than 3 hours, the radio stations that carry the show can be off. So every other thing we're doing remains just on social media. And we want the radio stations to carry the show to the end. And the only way they can carry the show to the end is for us to stick to 3 hours. So when you saw Stevie acting tough, in Bremani people, you got 30 seconds, you got this, is because henceforth, going forward, we're going to be working within the confine of 3 hours so that as we end the show, that's the same time the radio station will end. It does not make much sense if the radio stations end the show and we stay on, you know. I mean, a bulk of the people who listen to the show are the people who listen to the radio. Yeah, a few of you come here, 15, 20,000 after the show, but hundreds of thousands of people can follow the show by radio. So if the radio doesn't end it, it's on us.
Oh, I think we lost Chupo. He's gonna come back. I think the internet.
So,
guys, it has been a very good conversation.
I think Revin, you got to elaborate.
Yeah, Revin wanted to say something. Is he there?
Let me brief that up, but let me say a thing when we go to the line.
Yeah, while we go on the line, I don't know if I'm permitted to read the condition on Stanton release, because, you know, when it comes down to discussing our candidate, like I said, when they want to discuss our candidate, which is Honorable Borgan, they can look for all kinds, like when they have a picture, oh, look at him. There is this behind him. So can I read what I have? I think it's just maybe 2 minutes. Can I go ahead?
Go ahead quickly.
All right, thank you. And I'm reading from the African Star newspaper online. So if many of you want to find it, you can go to Google and find the African Star newspaper.
Still, we can use my number in the meantime.
Okay, good. Yeah, let pass.
So I read, conditions of release. Waterspoon was ordered to submit to pre-trial services and surrender his passports and all traveling documents. Travel is restricted to the New Jersey area unless otherwise approved by pre-trial services. He is not to possess firearms, use alcohol excessively, nor use or unlawful possess narcotics. Waterspoon, who is the chief executive officer of Spoon Group of Company, which owns several media houses in West Africa, country of Liberia, must maintain wearing a global positioning system angle monitor, which service he must pay for. The GPS monitor is satellite guided and used by federal authority to track his movement as he awaits trial. I want to stop there. Also, I also read in another online paper that
Remy, you got 30 seconds.
Yeah, that the visit to Liberia, I think I spoke that a couple of days ago. The visit to Liberia, the meeting they had with George Weah, Waterspoon signed a deed with George Weah to promote him for $1.2 million. And his intention was to buy most of those local radio stations to control the airwave because he wanted George Weah to win second term. Thank you.
So, Stephen, can I take my first call?
Yeah, take your call.
Yeah, one minute more.
Announce the number first, Ali.
Let me just announce, Stephen, that our brother Smith, who made a commitment to be supporting Radio Dupa Monday with $50, he submitted that money to you already. So just check your.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Pierre.
Thank you, Smith.
All right, caller, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, hello, go ahead.
Martina Konate, Costa Princess on the land this morning. Yeah, tonight.
Go ahead.
I'm used to the morning call.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I want to say thanks to all our teachers in studio. You people have said it all. First of all, I want to speak to the Stanton Waterspoon issues. Even though they are discussing on my platform, I knew Stanton was a schemer because Stanton was never straight in doing anything. And people think by discussing him, we got personal issue with him. No, we just want the right thing to be done. Stanton always said on his show, for the sake of the Liberian people, we need to do this. If you say for the sake of the Liberian people, we should discuss every issue. So I want for everybody to do the same. And I'm very much disappointed in the school network. But anyway, nobody on that network that people can really rely on it is there. For me, I don't have no way people see other people. You value them, you respect them for what they stand for. I don't see nobody on that platform that really stand up for anything. Everybody on that platform, there are zero people. Because I, Martina Konate, who have not even reached to the level some of them think they are. If I were on that platform, I will resign till after the investigation. When they find me guilty or not, then I will go back on the platform to continue the show because the CEO of the company have been adopted by criminal activities. So you be a clean person, nobody on that platform got right to discuss anybody about corruption because they are said they are not even free. The platform they set it on, the platform is stigmatized by criminal record, and they still sitting on that platform to criticize other people who people think that they are better more than their CEO who opened that because you put thousands of people race life at risk, and today they can't say anything. We get Junior Takula Poto over there that everywhere you see money in the picture. Everywhere you see money in the picture. It's not a nation that he went back to COV. But I've been saying let me say this. I've been seeing this for time immemorial. If he has lost political relevance, he only behind people who he think that the people believe in, so he can do anything to gain that relevance back for the names of born citizens. I don't want anybody to see as an opposition. He got passion for CDC, even the next government, but unfortunately, our government, our president will believe in. Joseph Nyeman Bwaka will not accept a political grasshopper. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Martina.
Costa Princess, she gone?
She gone.
All right, well, she got to come on the show. And that's
Ali, we're trying to invite her.
Yeah, number two, part of the adjustment we made to keep it the 3 hours is that we should keep the caller to 1 minute. So
okay,
I'll time everybody exact 1 minute.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. If you get call, go ahead.
Let's take DJ Lomé from Liberia. DJ Lomé, go ahead.
Hello? It's a beer.
Yeah, go ahead quickly. Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Pia. Look, I just want to say kudos to the team and thank God we are holding together. Thank Tom has put himself into a mud. And then mud will not come from a pull a Ben Sandy. You know, Ben Sandy has been one time on the show. When I said this thing that people doing on the show is not correct.
You got 1 minute or only 1 minute, so don't talk long. Yeah.
He said, Lume, who are you? You're not relevant. When Joseph Boga was going to call to speak against me, where were you? He said all kind of things against me. And let me say to Zizu, today our cable from Tivo yesterday, he kept 11 meters from our pool that we couldn't get it. We went to LEC. We begged them, said we will not give up coverage until next week.
Your 1 minute goal, DJ Loma. Your 1 minute goal will stick to it. Sarah, go ahead. Sarah, you got 1 minute.
Yeah, I want to say hi to all the panelists.
Yeah, just know you got 1 minute.
Yeah, you are doing great job for our country. And I listen to Mo, and whatever Mo said is truth. Opposition. I walk to somebody and we doing our own billboard too. We are doing our billboard for now and next week. We'll start putting it on the bureau level for Joseph Boga. Operation Rescue Liberia. And the picture will be on it.
Okay.
From street to street too.
Okay, thank you. Let's stick to the 1 minute. Dupont, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, what's the name?
Yes,
Okay, Chief, you have 1 minute. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to connect up on the side, but I want to say I listen to selling nobody wants to support it. We the people looking up to you. Any poor that you take our army, boy, why is we also do young? How? That will how people got to hit another community because people want to see. Well, you are a big coming person, one and I will defend it up. They are seeing it kind of thing. They're not putting up to go back to the same thing that I can make for an account. Who the person that bring it because it's one and gives you opposition. When you're sitting there, you're looking at people.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Chief, you're live on the program. What is your name? Where are you calling us from tonight?
I'm Timothy Sonny Bosman, Phillipsburg, calling for Grand Pastor County.
You have just a minute. Go ahead.
You know, I very appreciate you, but I listen to you on the platform as a strong support of Joseph Imam Baga. And I listen to you discussing Prince Justin Law. Prince Justin said he was a lesser evil. Some of you are weird. So I'm calling the show when I say finish for Timothy Baga, they just feed our Indian hospital. We that talk on the platform are supporting the Baga group. Even some of you just wanted it to call us say, we'll do it. That's why we go to for jacket. You don't need to recognize us.
Yeah, but hello.
Hello. We say support Baga. I will say people.
My word. That person. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, Chief. Go ahead. You have just a minute.
Yeah, just
Dupont, after that 10 call, you go to Moali. You get 3 calls. Then you go. Let's switch it around like that.
The information the pastor is giving out is true because let this thing know what us exposed a lot of punishment.
Come on, hello. So go ahead, Ash. That was it for my info now.
Ali, you got a call?
I got a caller on the line.
Yeah, take that caller, darling, down quickly. Caller, just hold it line.
Okay. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Craig, man, calling from my truck anyway. Just a little participation on your show, the first time ever. I want to say thank you guys for the platform. I mean, I think that time is growing and it's going to be great. Guys, you know, regarding the insecurity in that country, even before election, I mean, raise a serious concern. But if you all can sit there, all the press releases, the podcast people been having about the rule of law in Liberia, nothing has worked. Look, Jeremy, I will tell you point blank, this is a man that I know very well. This is a party that I know, but I did not know what was going to be the outcome of their government. Look, we are as a street man. We are doesn't like anything diplomatic. If you sit there, you think that we we adhere to your diplomacy, your press releases, you go and cry. No. We are as a man who accept fire for fire. But let me tell you something. We are as a man will never sit and instruct his wild dogs or hunt them if the opposition does not come hard on the ruling establishment in terms of restoring rule of law and a peaceful election. And you people say that all the institute thinking that, oh, when we talk, they will say this. There must be something done in that country. I ain't saying, oh, violent, what have you. There must be a caveat sent to WIA where we draw the attention of the international community that if WIA thinks that he will impose himself on the people or he will use
30 seconds, wrap up. 30 seconds.
Will be a problem. So, gentlemen, that's the whole thing over there. You guys go and rethink it and draw a new strategy to see how we can restore peace in that country and a free and fair election.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, caller.
Good evening, Mo.
You heard 1 minute, yeah?
Let me say good evening to the panelists. But thank you very much, Mo. This is Bobby Abu Menska from this ASD Kupogu. Mo, you see, listen, this is the time for us to stay in people their job, money. We will not allow people their job. We are in a country to get re-elected. If we are seeing that we want to see the 2023 election, that will not happen. But it calls for some of us to stay and we will fight for one nation and Nigeria and football in South Africa to release together so Africa get released. We will fight for it in our country. Yes, children will trust us. Put them more to the issue of total water school. That is the man who always preaching up for integrity, but he does not have one integrity. That man does not have moral. The man show the nature even discourse one day on the show that he fought in allegation or alleged on him. He stole the people's money. 114 million. He robbed the people's
Thank you, Bobby. Your 1 minute finish.
All right, I got a caller here. Hello?
Thank you, Bobby.
You got just 1 minute.
Okay, this is Hassan M. Kamal from China.
Well, I bought you. I thought the man.
Hello?
Go ahead. You got 1 minute.
Okay. What are my concern?
I mean, you lost that man or the man from China, you lost him. So let me take the caller quick. Call on the line, go ahead. Call on the line from the US.
He's on the line. You guys not hearing me?
Now you're out of your video or something.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, then let me call the other line.
Okay. He's calling you, Pierre.
Take this call from the US
quickly.
quickly. Can I take this call from the US quickly, please?
Sure.
Go ahead. Hello there, go ahead.
My name is D. Clay Queen, and I'm calling from North Dakota.
1 minute, please.
For the radio station, I will support the radio station with $100 every month.
Yes, Steven.
I will support the radio station with $100 every month. Until after election. And let me just say this. If citizens in the ground will be on the ground for election. And we set our own brigade. We are coming and we're being full.
All right. The name again is Declare Boto Kui.
Let me take the caller, Mo.
Okay, Chief. Thank you, sir.
Call on the line, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Hi to every one of you there. I want to thank all of you on the platform there for talking for the people of Liberia. My name is Koto Jarabalaya, commonly known as Koto Blessing. I just called to make an input on what the VP said, Joe Howard Taylor. They are saying that they want to change the magistrate, the voter registration magistrate, because they are not trustworthy. What about the next year that was found allegedly stealing from the Liberian people that is there, that is then in court, that she is, we can say she's found guilty. The state keeping her there. What accusation are there that happening against the magistrate that we don't know about, that they want to change them? The person that we know about is the chair. She has been considered somebody who stole from the government, and she's there. They're not changing her. Why would they want to change the magistrate? And I have serious observation on that. I think they should be thinking about the people that in their corrupt government that they have not handled, then to go to the magistrate. So they want to be corrupt again in our area because we know that they have their officials that have been put under sanction and they don't do anything about it. Those that they have not had sanction against are the people they're running after. Let them get behind their teams and connect them and deal with them and leave the magistrates alone.
Thank you. Call on the line, go ahead.
Yes, it is class reloaded, Comepia.
Class reloaded, and you get just 1 minute. 1 minute, not more than that. So be fast.
All right, thank you very much, Comepia. This is Comrade Harris, TK Johnson, calling for Pennsylvania, co-chair for the tag team Pennsylvania. First of all, I want to take this time to thank all the panelists for putting aside a busy schedule to come on the show to provide relevant information.
By the time you finish thanking all that 1 minute gone, then you not make the point you should make.
My attention is going to the biometric registration. We learned that, NEC came out with the biometric registration for citizens of Liberia to apply to form part of this process. But we learned for credible information that the CDC-led government are trooping the militants into this process. That they want to take seize of this process and avoid all people from registering during this process. So it is about time that the opposition to take seize of this matter and send a lot of militants or other people to take, to form part of this process, because the campaign process is nearing, and NEC is doing everything possible, or this government is doing everything possible, to track the whole electionary process.
All right, we'll stop it there. The reason why I allow you to go small because you say you tag team co-chair, but normally we're taking 1 minute. So thank you there. Yeah, you'll go ahead on the other side.
So my caller just dropped the line. Okay, I have call here. Hello.
Caller.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello. Go ahead.
Hello.
Me?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, hello, caller. You live on the program? What's the name where you joining us from?
This is Isaac Gay from Pastor County.
Mr. Gay, you have 1 minute on the program. Yeah. Please go ahead. I say you have 1 minute. Please go ahead.
Yeah. I want to thank God ever so much for the topic on the discussion. But look, let me tell you, God is God. God knows what we're going through in this country. And I strongly believe that the new Liberia that God is about to give to us who've been suffering in this country, all those with evil intention, God going to expose them, God going to weed them out before the new day that is about to break, that Liberia will rise and shine than never before that time comes. God going to weed them out. That's why you see people that selling water coming out. That's why you see and other people with ability and the rest of the people, God continue to expose them so we can see and know them.
5 seconds. You have 5 seconds, please. You have 5 seconds. Thank you so much. Huh? I said thank you so much for your point this evening.
Let me take this call. Go ahead, caller.
Thank you very much. I'm Eugene Utah from the channel. I called to make a commentatory statement followed by recommendation within 1 minute.
That's more English.
I appreciate every one of you for the time. The different debate and topic are making sense. There's a significant impact in making into the level of Liberian people when it comes to dissemination of information. Recommendation. I recommend that we have a day, open up the show, let people give feedback. All right, how they think about the program, what are the different issues, even including those different radio stations that carry the story or the program. Let us hear from them. You hear from us, but actually the program is making big sense. There's a good thing coming from all of this program. Thank you very much for having me on the show. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugene.
Okay, call on the line. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Hassan M. Kamara calling from China.
Okay, Hassan, go ahead. Larman, are you caller, right? Yeah, go ahead, Hassan.
First of all, I would actually beg our people on the panelists to please give us we from Asia, because we follow this show. We don't sleep because of the time. Now it's 6 o'clock here, you know.
Okay, 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock in the morning here.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
6 o'clock, I'll be sitting to watch this show. So now people should give a little time.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
My concern is about what Senator Prince Joseph said yesterday, saying that the president should publish the turnover note. Because, you know, we have been arguing with sedition here in China. They said that they made this, they cover empty, nothing. In fact, the government was like a kind of a empty church. So for that reason, if they really can prove this by showing the turnover note to us, we will be able to really believe what they are saying. So we have to, even during this campaign, we are going down, we have to have a placard everywhere. Let the president show, let the president publish the turnover note. That's what I have to say for today's show.
All right, Hassan. Thank you. Caller on the line. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Yes, Ende Musu, how are you?
My name is Musu. I just called to just give all the input. Okay, I think the people that in Monrovia, you can get more people to send them to the net to go and because they are employing and CDC packing their people all in sending more people down there. So the people from our camp, they start sending some young people wanted to be employed and trained, because that's time for the net to start getting more people who will be that will train, that will be on the field. Because it's follow that place and the other people, from our camp, we don't have much people there to put in. So I just try to bring that to.
All right.
Can I tell Noah Gibson?
Let me take the last person already on. Call on the line, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Because the person from Liberia more, you know, that what's up. Go ahead quickly.
Yeah.
I just recommend to the opposition that at least, please, the further education that is ongoing now, let them try to put security in town so that we that will vote, our vote should go in. Please.
Okay, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, I heard you. We heard you. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Thank you, people. Please put all security measures in place. All the things that coming up on the opposition, from the ruling party, all the things that their problem that will create, and then the preview that God showing to also.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Noah Gibson, go ahead.
Okay, once again, I want to say hello to all of you. Quickly, in 1 minute. Quickly in 1 minute, I'd like to give you people this feedback before I make my point in a few seconds. The folks are lack in Grand Bassa County. I complaining that they're not complaining, but they are appealing. Let me put it this way: they are appealing that the make this show to be extended on Laksa FM or on other radio station there, so they can really get us the momentum for the show that is high. According to them, they can monitor through the internet, and part of the people there do not have internet phones. Even police officers and other officers of the security apparatus are all yearning for this show. So I just hope and pray that the necessary resources will be raised so we can make that expansion. Having said this, quickly, what caught my mind Mr. Pia and the rest of all of you. I'm tired hearing this the call for this so-called opposition unity by some of our opposition leaders. John Balu knows very well that he has not been an active member of the Unity Party. Since we left the we left the CPP, February 15th, we make our 1 year. And I think we're moving forward. We from the Unity Party have never in any time said that we can win election in this country without collaboration. We acknowledge that nobody knows that more than us. In fact, we are the custodian of merger and collaboration in this country. So nobody can tell us the significance of a collaborating with other parties. But only because somebody else support, they want Kumi's man here, because Kumi not there, so it means that we're not united. I think we need to keep sensitizing our supporters on there, let them know the importance of this, because that's why they try to pollute some of our supporters' minds with almost all the local radio stations when you listen to them here in the morning, opposition unity. So why does they want opposition unity? When one particular person not there, then we're not united. I think this nonsense got to stop. I'm tired with it.
All right, Noah, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, but Noah cousin you.
No, is angry. Noah is angry. Right?
But let me take the wrong call there. I come to you. You but call on the language.
How are you?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Hola.
I just want to tell you guys thank you for the show, and we are following. You guys keep the way you're doing. But I have a concern about band serving. Like you can already say, everybody can recall the 2020 election. I was in Liberia at the time. And I listened to Spoon, and Ben will ask a question. Well, because CPP after the election tomorrow, and Ben said this. If they don't win tomorrow, CPP leadership will change. So it means Ben already had a mindset that the leadership at the time needed to be changed. He said, but if they don't lose tomorrow, it means CPP is finished. So they don't after CPP, Ben was not in the CPP because he wanted for it to hold. He wanted to see a new face and subsequently to get me for Just Weir. We know Ben's history from day one. So Ben is not a character that we all should try to even discuss it.
Thank you.
Let him be.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Jupiter, go ahead.
So I have this call from abroad. Hello, what's the name? Where you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Faith Kotu. I'm calling from Germany. I got an issue. You see, as far as my very politics is this: as long we still not working with our hands, we still talking our voice, we'll get our way through. If we just say George Weir and we just sit without working towards the election, we will show with this election again. Because we always use our words by saying, oh, this. None of us here on this platform get the ability to stop Weir from winning this election unless we work as a group to stop him. If not, it's impossible.
Okay, Chief. Thank you so much for your participation. Do appreciate. Thank you.
You ain't got a call. I got a caller here. Caller, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and good afternoon on this side. I'm Christopher Kembe. I live in Canada. So, thank you for the show, but I have a comment to make. That would be Mr. Dillon. Where is Darrell Dillon, our senator? Where is he? Why is he not coming on the show anymore? That is not too good. I think he should be on the show too.
Good question, but to the wrong people.
Yes. Well, if you're listening to the show,
Yeah, I hope you're listening.
know that I asked him the question. And also to Kilian Ure. Where is she too? They started the show. Where are they leaving you people to run the show? They don't want to be part of the struggle? Or what? What is the cause? You can't just suppose something and you cannot show up. I think it's a weakness from the upside. They should be part of the show. to make sure the show run properly as it is expected to be. As they said they can be part of it, they should be part of it. Or they should tell us where they stand, because it's not fully good for you to start something that you cannot be part of, only to say you support it in the back, we do not show up anymore. I understand he has a lot to do, but I think his presence is highly needed for us to see them. It is very important. If he is listening, please, Dylan, if there's any reason we need to know, I want to know, not all, but I want to know why you are not on the show again. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the show.
Okay, good. I hope he's listening. I hope you answer. Caller from Liberia, go
I
ahead.
can take this caller.
Let me take this caller from Liberia. Caller, go ahead.
Yeah.
Got 1 minute.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Patrick SBD, call from Tuboro, to be precise. Jamaica and my man Steven Johnson. I told you I shouldn't sit down at that. Yesterday I was in Marshall again. Many people I met there, they're saying that they are now getting any news from the opposition, it worrying them or not. So every day when I go talking to people, they can say they ain't seeing nothing, they're not seeing us. So I got to talk to the woman and buy them some sort, they will know winning there. All of them are put on the Palawa house there, I was talking with them. At least Syria is begging of you people, at least for us to try when you guys come in or you down there to start sending some fire today. I met with the LG, said, I'll wait for you, and they say no and material yet. So I'm begging, let me start getting something. When you get something down there, street, send some flyers on Sunday. Let me be carrying around because I'm not sitting down. What we do? I want you to know here
Billy. And you need a party man? And you reach, yeah, but wait now, as soon as I ask you, are you reaching out to the people? So when you went there and you need a party man, how can they say not seeing when they see you, then they see us? That's one. But number two, the Unity Party is an institution. What we do on this platform is meant to help them. You're telling them to do what they're supposed to do instead of so you lead a Unity Party that you're telling them we're in America that we must send flyers.
Go to the party headquarters.
Ask them to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, your man's there.
Absolutely. No, that's a concern. So let's just take it easier with him. You know?
Not all men.
All men, yeah. You know?
You're the party that be complementary. You can't be the party where we have to not do what we will help when we can. We complement. You're the party do what it's supposed to do. Yeah.
I can take this caller. He'll be on the line long.
Okay, Stevie will call you. Stevie, your member, he said you can't get you. Please call the man.
Okay.
Caller there, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm Ibrahim Kane calling from Grand Pass of Buchanan City.
Go ahead.
I'm seeing that they got more trained people more than some of us. Some of us were trained by Israelis. So here we say that we look at them. They're not full of violence more than us. We train more than them. No security, nothing easy have that train more than some of us. But we just look at them. We're waiting for you. We're waiting. If they know that there's no arm more than us, or there's no fighting more than us, let us just try it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, so can I take my call?
Israeli 3 minutes off there now.
Take your final call, Chupo.
Okay, call on the line. Gwivlink, what's your name? Where are you calling us from tonight? You gotta push clear your voice, cause we are not getting you. Okay, Mr. Johnson, please go ahead. You have just a minute.
Thank you for the show. My intention of being Toronto or the opposition also the party, some of us support of the party. I guess we like moreover area without getting being the impact of the opposition on the farm. So I don't know how can we I'm always following the Starview little show and I don't have a smartphone only on the radio, so now when go off for far age. So you gotta see our best to keep pushing the message and on this time at least with you all to get people.
But you started to be on your own, your family that you're talking about the doing this, without seeing that is that I don't know there how your answer them. So you're very kind of put the budget at least so we can your say something to thank you. I mean more you have to advance your number so I can get your number more please.
Okay, Chief. Thank you so much for waiting. We do appreciate. Thank you.
Call on the line. Go ahead.
Yes, come up here. This is Harris Johnson again calling from Pennsylvania. Look.
But I thought you called for man. No, don't do that. Other people calling. Don't do that. Michael Harris, you the last call. We got to close the show. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for allowing me. My name is Michael Harris from Minnesota. Well, thank you guys for the deliberation. And the issue is Ben Sanvey. Y'all leave Ben Sanvey. Let a man hustle. Because the name Ben Sanvey, when it comes in a long line, when you have an irresponsible and reckless leader in a mansion like Charles Taylor and that of George Weah, trust me, if a president brought out, even a president Comey is elected, you're not going to need Ben Sanvey. You're going to go to perpetual oblivion. So let our brother hustle. Because whatever kind of activity is, Ben Sanvey cannot be known without any credible means. Can use this kind of criminal link to make himself known. That's what the brother is known for. So y'all let him hustle, but also without taking it anywhere. He just destroyed his head. Thank you so much.
All right. Steven, we got 15 more minutes. So I think you got to close the show now. So we have 3 hours. And the caller who I just called, you have to understand. Right now, I got more than 60 missed calls. So all the number of persons can be struggling to call, and you alone won't call 2 times. So sorry, you made your point earlier, and Michael Harris was on the line. There's no way. Okay, let me just close your event. Jerry W. Stevenson are your man. Let me close with him.
Okay, yeah, let's close it.
You got to be fast. 1 minute. Go ahead.
All right, so the name is Jerry W. calling from Woodstock. Let me say bravo to the entire team, even though I was sleeping today's negative 9 degrees today. So, my people in Liberia, let me speak a little bastard to you. Need a bank. Sonia again, more time, Jesus. Let me get Ghana, more stuff. Then the family has just say, you know, so I find out that more stuff, need a bank. Need a bank. What I say is, Pastor, my people in Liberia, I'm begging you in the name of God, as a family man or family person, it is not good to just be open or begging. Please take the comfort for yourself. This year is the only year of the opportunity for you. The success is in your hand. Thank you so much.
Oh, so we ended there, Steven.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. It's been a wonderful show. Thanks. And let's just say this. I know some people call and want to talk for long. We have allowed you to talk for 3, 4, 5 minutes, but right now our radio stations will shut off in 3 hours. So most of the time when we stay here after the hour mark, the 3 hour mark is like we're just talking to our supporter on Facebook, and then most of our supporters in Monrovia are cut off, and then they've been complaining. They've been calling on the radio saying when the calling time comes, they don't hear us on the radio. So we thought to keep it within 3 hours. So we apologize if you didn't get enough time to talk. We'll readjust to see how we can accommodate everybody within the 3 hours. So we like to say sorry. Now, guys, we're just there. I'd like to say thanks to you all for the time, the way you guys organize yourself in terms of keeping the time. And even though I was a little bit aggressive with my time because I know what else to be within time, I'd like to say thanks. Let me just go around the room. And everybody can close within a minute or so. You're closing, and then let's wrap this up so that we can be in time with the radio station. I'll go around. I'll begin with Larma, Pastor Mo, Jupor, Jerry, Ali, Darlington, then Pia will take us home.
Yeah, I think it's been a wonderful show as always. Our callers show so much energy and passion. We just need to keep doing what we do the best. Like Pia said, we are playing our part. We hope that the Unity Party leadership, can step up a little bit in terms of the level of aggression needed in these elections. And let's go to October 2023 and win this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Larma. Possible.
Yeah, thank you. It has been a good show. I want to say thank you to our many viewers by way of Facebook and listeners by way of the radio station. I just want to say to the many Liberians that say opposition not ready, opposition need to come together, opposition need to do something. As long as you are not supporting the CDC, you are an opposition. Just know that. So what you need to do, talk to the next person by you, who to vote for and how to vote. I think it was a good show. Thank you very much, and good night
Thank
to
you.
everyone.
Thank you. That was nice. Jupor?
Yeah. So I'm actually grateful. It's the weekend edition, yet another great show. My heartfelt appreciation to the team. I'm grateful. And happy weekend to all of us.
Thank you, Jupor. That was smart. Sherry?
Yeah, thank you. It was a wonderful show. We are grateful. Thanks to all of our callers. This is the time that we have to make a great decision. We strongly believe that it's not time for blame shifting. If we can be very dangerous in his first term, just imagine what will happen in his second term when you to give him the second time. So it is about time that all of us, like the elders, have decided in River G that nobody leads to mention for a woman to decide what happened in River G. River G is one of the places that we got to go to bed and sleep. You like it, you carry executive mansion there, you carry everything. We are clear. But all of us as Liberians, it is about time that we take a decision to save our state. These people have proven we are not judging, we are in the opposition, we are judging on the basis of 6 years that he has served. Joseph Newman Boakai is our choice, it's the people's choice, and all of us, each one should tell one person to say, please, let us make Via a one-term president. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jerry. Wally.
Thank you, Stephen. It was a great show as usual, and we want to say thank you to our people. But quickly, no one should be afraid. We all will not sit and allow the elections to be rigged. We need to play our part, and everyone who is following the show, it is your duty to spread the information. It is also your duty to observe the process. The voter registration process will be starting soon. Everyone who is part of the opposition community and you want the opposition to win, do not sit to wait that people should come from Unity Party headquarters or Liberty Party headquarters before you know that you have to play a part. It is your responsibility to observe the process wherever you are, and when you go there to register, once the right thing is not being done, blow a alarm on it. Blow a alarm on it so that we all can know what's happening and people will make immediate intervention. If you keep quiet, no one will know what's going on, and at the end of the day, we all will just sit and complain. Thank you.
Thank you. Darlington?
Well, Stephen, thank you very much, and an appreciation to all of you on the platform, Big Brother Pia, Brother Jupor, Mo Ali, Ambassador Yonton, and my own brother Jerry. So you see, 2023 Liberians have a very critical decision to make. You either decide to move the country forward or keep it as the way it is. You know, sometimes when we talk about social transformation and how our country can move forward, Stephen, honestly, it is not for ourselves. I mean, God has blessed many of us here on foreign skies. At least before the end of the day, we have a meal and a water to drink, and that's okay. But what happened to the dejected masses of our people who go to bed with just a hope that they will have a meal per day? These are the Liberian people we come on here for, and we are committed to doing that. So I want to call on our people. I mean, it's 6 years. At times it appeared that it was so long. Not just the other day we inaugurated Mr. Weah because of his poor performance. His regime has fast moved on, and here we are now talking about elections. You have an opportunity to rectify this error, this national embarrassment that was brought onto us in 2017. You have an opportunity. As you make your bed, so shall you lie on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Darlington. Pia, take us home.
All right, let me formally welcome and thank Darlington for making his debut. I have been engaging. I know it's not about coming back, Darlington. That's what I was about to say. I have been engaging Darlington, and today we reached an understanding that every Wednesday and Friday Darlington will be on. So he didn't just come to visit. He's going to be a regular member of the panel.
Every Friday.
Friday, sorry, not Wednesday, Friday. Every Friday, yeah, sorry. Yeah, he said he could do it better as time will permit him, but we have his commitment to come every Friday, just as we have from Jerry. I don't know why Jerry been slipping through of late, but he too agreed to come every Friday.
Yeah.
So please keep it on, Jerry. Don't give up.
Okay.
When the participants get used to you, they want to see you. All the other guys questioning what's wrong with Dylan, what's wrong with TDI. They want to see all of you. So Darlington, thank you for coming. You are a strong brother, an unbending revolutionary. I've known you for a time, a past student leader. You know, there's a reason why CDC should be afraid, because I know time passed. The likes of Darlington and all have sympathy for the CDC. Today, because they know they're left from their right, they know the party is a failed institution, so they've all turned their back because they want the better for Liberia, and that's what we expect people to do. I'll give you the true love story as I close. There's a lady that, you know, we know. She has a baby with a guy who is here in the US. The guy is good off, he's better off more than even some of us. But you're not believing, Stephen, that sometimes even food for the baby, that lady will not have it. And she will reach out and say, just food for my baby. Until one time I got pissed. I said, but the baby have a father, and I know the father is doing very well in the States. Why wouldn't he want to take care of his baby? And that's the kind of situation that person was faced with. Today, I saw that person dressed in blue beret and all kind of nonsense. I get black. They ain't got patience for that kind of thing. Because sometimes the people have their own problems.
Oh yeah.
Pia, let me ask you, Pia, 1 minute. That the lady you saw dressed up in the blue beret.
No, that person, the person's identity remained private. But
no, he said, who you black? Who you black? Is it the lady or the guy?
No, the lady. I don't have any relationship with the guy. I just know him, but the guy is here. He's okay. It's the lady who live in the condition more.
Oh, Mo Ali, I thought you wanted to talk for a lady who they said Akora.
And you think that she would know better? A regime that have reduced her to that kind of level, and then she dresses up in blue beret and all kinds of things. I say, okay, you don't deserve to even know people here. And I black them. All right, and not just that. I've been reviewing my friend listing of lately. As soon as I see you dressed up with CDC beret, I black you from my plate. You're not there again. And then when we say send a friend request with CDC beret on your head, you are black. Because people gotta feel for themselves first. There's a saying in our community that, you know, when somebody washing your back, because your hair can read behind your back, you must wash your own stomach. See me? I can't bear the burden for or feel for somebody who don't feel for themselves in the first place. Talk about it now. So the time they have to rescue the country, if they don't do it, it's up to them. And for Mr. We are in the CDC. If part of your operation is a plot to rig the election, change that plan. It will not work. Change that plan. If you rig the election, you will not govern. If you rig the election, you will not be president. As of the time you rig the election, your trouble will start. And that's the time we know man versus woman. What are you, the man? Or we the woman and you the man, or we the man and you the woman? That the time we know. Just try that nonsense. You have suffered a poem. They say they want you, pack your satoka and go sit down. Don't attempt to force yourself on our country. If they want you to vote for you, we'll clap for you what they want. We'll look at them to label what they want. But if they don't vote you and you attempt to steal the election, and it will start like this. When you make mistake and change your magistrate, as Joe Howard talked about, we don't have election. And if we don't have election, your constitutional period is over. One day after your term, you will be out of office. Maybe that some kind of interim agreement will take us to the election. But you will not stay in office one day after the election. So when you try to do anything stupid, removing magistrate and doing things that will not lead to the breaking of the election, we're not even allow you to hold the election in the first place. before you legitimize it, some kind of crocodile you will not have it, and one day after your tenure, you will not stay in office. Thank you.
Thank you, Pia. And let me say thanks to all of you, Mo Ali, Darlington Collins, Jerry Yima Yimpa, Michelle Chupo, Pastor Wendell E. Mo, Lariman Shenken Yonton, and all of our callers for participating. It's been a wonderful show. I'd like to say thanks to all of our radio stations, Bourgeois Radio FM 98.1, Premium FM 98.1 in Bangabong County, Radio Dupa FM 89.1 in Grand Bassa County, Voice of Lofa FM 99.3 in Funjaman, Radio Joy Africa FM 97.5 in Margibi, and of course Voice of Compa FM 106.5 in Lima. This has been the weekend edition of the program, The Class Reloaded. I'm your host, Stephen Johnson, saying a pleasant day and thanks. We'll see you on Monday, God's willing. And Monday, we need to talk more into this Drew Howard Taylor thing. I think it's something very important. Changing the magistrate on the eve of election is something that should raise serious concern. And all of the political parties should begin to raise the alarm. I think there are plans by these folks to rig the election. And as we often said on this platform, elections are not rigged on election day. Elections are rigged in the events that lead to elections. And so we have to pay attention. This year, 2023, is about fighting for the soul of the nation. And so as Pia and all of you have said, any attempt by this government to rig this election, the country will be in serious problem. If the Liberians do not want you and vote against you, it is the legitimate voice of our people, and it must be heard. Our vote is our power. And if we use our power to remove you from office, the best you can do is pack your bag and leave. 6 years of your misrule, 6 years of mismanagement, rampant corruption are enough. And Liberians are tired. So your pay program tomorrow, go ahead and think that you can now build the momentum on your pay program, believing that you can capitalize on it to cheat. It will not happen on our watch. It will never happen, not today, not tomorrow, not in the future. Thanks, God, for the show. I'd like to say a big thank you to all of our listeners in the comment section, all of our commenters and our students. We love you all. As always, it's been a great show. Thanks for participating, all of your comments, all of your feedback. We appreciate it. And those who made contribution, I'd like to say thanks to you all. The program is yours. We'll see you on Monday, God's willing, with another fresh edition of the program, The Class Reader. On that note, guys, I'd like to say thanks for joining and do have yourself a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. God bless you all.
Thank you, man.
It's all in the game. It's all in the game. Here, there, and everywhere. The people keep on crying. The people just keep on crying. It's not fair. And we going nowhere. All the big people all the roadside hustlers, the big C divide us. There is a game, and everybody's supposed to play, but everybody against one man, and that woman is alright. A moment, yes, because he's a super player. I know. Because he's a brilliant player. That's right. All the opposition setting defense, double defense, triple defense. Hey, but Romain Walker is not the time on those defenses. He's warming up. Babette is warming up. Check it. Yeah, he's jogging, and the crowd is cheering. Wow, look what I have. But one thing I want to tell you, Babette, it's chocolate defense. Oh, Babette, chocolate defense. Oh, how are you? You getting got a bit. You getting got a bit. You getting got a bit. Walk out chocolate defense. You getting got a bit. You getting got a bit. You getting got a bit. Walk out chocolate. Papa is a very, very good driver. No matter what kind of defense you build, now I'm a wicked devil. Oh, me wicked you karapuge. Hey, oh, me wicked you Greeky kaka. What I watch? Hey, Berekatu. Hey, we got a Berekatu. You don't fall, but you compare away. You compare away. Waka, you compare away. The game is on, and everybody's watching the game. The game is very hot, people been entertained. The ball comes to Joseph Wakayama. The omen balance, he praised the ball. Move it, move it, move it. I see 6 opposition attack the baba. The omen is very skillful. He get him, gotta put in the key, gotta. I see them confused, don't know where to go. They didn't even see the ball. They hit moving, moving, looking behind, opposition behind. The weapon moving, and he bought with 4 defenders, and he beat the defenders. 7 defenders, and he beat the defenders. Then he kicks, and it's a goal. Hey, Chakra defense. They put on a defense. Double defense, triple defense. Money for parents and skillful player. Hey, again and gotta be, again and gotta be, again and gotta be. Waka chakra the defense. Again and gotta be, again and gotta be, again and gotta be. Waka chakra the defense. Great people of Liberia, I want to introduce somebody to you. A man of impeccable character. He's a reconciler, developmental oriented, man of integrity, principle, knowledge and experience. Join him, let's move this country forward. Hey, please be Joseph Waka. Hey, yeah, the president Joseph Waka, that Joseph Waka, that Joseph Waka, the president Joseph Waka. Let us join them Waka, and together we can change Liberia. Love Liberia, and we all can build Liberia. Again and gotta be, again and gotta be, again and gotta be. Waka chakra the defense. Again and gotta be, again and gotta be, again and gotta be. Waka chakra the defense. Again and gotta. What you? Hey, hey. Tell you that the papa will fall. What got coming, people? Papa, tell you that the papa will fall. What got coming, people? Papa, we just let's take killing by governance to stop us that we for Waka. Yo, that we vote for. Omen Waka. What you? Yaka, $60 billion to the $5 million loss. Over change the associate criminals. The $5, not $20, not $20. The country in Wahala. Tell you that the papa will fall. What got coming, people? Papa, tell you that the papa will fall. What got coming, people? Papa, my far people, my many people, my better people, let them pay out.
All my digger people, my grand people, my damn people, let it pop out. My crew people, my bunny people, my backup people, let it pop out. My dead people, my Gola people, my Loma people, let it pop out. Young boy for your own son. My Goba people, Mana people, Bella people, getting too hard. Never getting my kids to now. But you know, grab Toba, Mama, I see you. Jamen Duke, Mo Ali. When I was telling you, there's a Shanking Yoton, MFP Costa, there's a Stevie Johnson, Cylinder Delon, Mala Yomli Kanga Lawrence, Mata COP. Azo.
It's Virgie. Everybody, hands up. Shadow in the air. Come on now. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
The papeles coming up. The papeles coming like a tsunami. I see him coming up. Oh, I see him coming up. The papeles coming like a hurricane. I see him coming up. Everybody shouting and screaming. Hey! Let me see you shaking it, shaking it, shaking it, shaking it, shaking it. Hey, yeah. Yeah, we're moving for Bragame. Yeah, we're moving for Bragame. On every part of the country, we're moving for Bragame. Yeah. But we love you, power. Yeah. Oh, we love you, power. Everybody loves you, power. Hey, you say you can rock it. Hey, you say you can rock it. Look at you, something beautiful, you can rock it. Rock it up, rock it. Shake it up, rock it. Shake it up, rock it. Rock it. The papeles coming, everybody shake it. The papeles coming up. The papeles coming like a tsunami. I see him coming up. Oh, I see him coming up. The papeles coming like a hurricane. I see him coming up. Everybody shouting and screaming. Victory is certain and when things are going. All my people getting you celebrating. Let's celebrate our victory. And it's only by ignorance or challenges and anything to a battle. When the man is coming up, when the man is coming at the opposition. You say I didn't want you, my people, because if you stand on the best way, hurricane will carry you, the tsunami will carry you, and tornado will wipe you away. Give way.
My people, where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not know. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that left us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed and not unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that's why we voted you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. No one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work, but people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us.